So I have compiled this year's best of show.
Wow. I have a schedule.
So we can call it in a couple weeks?
Yeah. You guys get to call in a couple weeks. There's minus 3 episodes. I haven't, but I have the timestamps for 2. And then I guess this one will be my last one that I'm gonna, but being as though it's funny, Joe. There's no guarantees.
This is true.
But it's 2 hours and 10 minutes, 2 hours and 15 minutes. Let me, yeah, it's a little. We weren't as funny as this year. Let's see, 2 hours and 19 minutes. And that's not including 4 episodes, so it should be around 2.5 hours. It's funny though. God damn, like listening back to some of that shit, I'm like, oh fuck, that shit's funny. So, but then I'll get to take the rest of the month off because I usually don't count December, which is nice because that shit is a pain in the dick. But
it really is
worth it.
Yeah.
Because I got to go in, I got to mark it, then I got to bring every episode back in, cut, chop, put it all together, export that. I end up with like, by the end of the year, like 20 files of like episode 350 through 360, 360 through 370.
What
and
a mess.
Then I got to put all of them together and then export that. And then.
At least it's not video.
Yeah.
How much are we getting paid for this?
Well, let's take a look at our recent earnings, Joe.
How much let's see how much you make.
It's always fun, and I think I forgot to monetize the last couple episodes. So.
Oh, neat.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find the last episode that was monetized. Oh, for some reason, under development was ineligible. Somebody copyright claimed us on that. We had limited.
I figured like YouTube would just have us on the auto.
The last episode that we were able to get full publishing for, or whatever. Is from September 22nd. Then a bunch of ineligibles and a couple limiteds. Let me see what we earned, Joe. It was the episode Robert Christopher Joseph, which I believe was the Nerve Rage After Dark episode. And let me click here. Dude, Google is so funny.
Yeah, I feel like we're on like an auto demonetized list.
Yeah,
right. As soon as our shit goes up, they like demonetize first and then go back later.
We earned $1.83 that episode and lost a subscriber.
Nice.
Worth it.
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, so that was it. That was all I had for an opener. I gotta update my notes a bit for my Nerd Week because I have actually.
It's been like 3 days.
I know, and ironically, I have.
Yeah, this is Monday, everybody. We're here Friday.
Yeah, we were here Friday. We're back Monday. It's scheduling. So
I need to put out a show, right?
Joe, you were here once again by a nose. Christopher, how was your Nerd Week?
It was short.
Nerd Weekend.
Yeah,
your Nerd Weekend. So we went to a wedding.
We did.
That was a lot of fun.
It was.
Are you too old for weddings now?
Do it now?
Are you feeling too old for weddings now?
No, because this wasn't really a wedding. I mean, let me take that back. It was a wedding with a house party attached to it.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like yes, that's more normal back when we were younger. Now, like
I think there were some people that were there that were a little confused because they did not know,
especially like family or
the couple as well as you know.
Yeah.
And they might have, I guess, expected a more traditional wedding. Obviously, that Chan and JD.
Yeah, we should probably start there.
Yeah,
that was whose wedding it was.
Yeah, they did a Star Wars themed ceremony.
Wow,
it was great. They put a lot of thought into it.
They did. They built a totem like from Rebels, like Hella's, Hella's, right? Hella's totem, like that. I think it's like shaped like a T and has like the things dangling off of it.
The family tree thing that.
You said totem from Hella. I was thinking like the big horn thing from Thor Ragnarok.
No. But it was.
I never put that together.
It was cool, but I got to be honest, and I love that. But I was looking at it and I was like, man, have we gone too far? If I didn't say that, I would be lying. Like it crossed my mind. I was like, has this gotten out of hand?
I mean, what in our lives hasn't gotten out of hand?
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, look at the room we're sitting in, and no, just the fact that you have a recording room and we're here every week is a bit much.
Yeah, it is.
Especially when we get $1.09 for it.
$83.
$1.83. My bad.
That but split 3 ways.
My goodness. So yeah, that was a great time. We stayed at this crazy ass place that Chan found.
Yeah,
it was an old like bank. and they had turned it into this like eight or nine, I think it's 17 people B&B.
Oh, cool. Is that vault in there?
They said still had the vaults. You could sleep in the vaults. I never did. Did you go up? I never did go upstairs.
I went up to the second floor. The third floor was
there's actually a third floor.
Yeah,
see, I didn't even know that.
Occupied by the kids. The second floor had like a little kitchen and dining area. Yeah, it was cool.
I guess that makes sense.
That's
I never went up there.
Probably.
But it was Kelly did, I guess she read the listing and it's like this dude lives there when he's in town, but he's not often in town. So it's like all his shit. He had a full, like, you could have played music like with a full band there. He had guitars and he had a stand-up bass and a full drum set.
I mean, one would if you were to own an old bank.
I guess.
I figured he would have like had the vault locked and have all his sex dungeon back there.
Yeah.
But that's kind of boring to not.
That's fair. Everything was sort of decorated in this very like kind of classic Americana, like pop culture icon stuff. So like there would be
like if it was like a Cracker Barrel if all the shit was from like the 70s and 80s instead of the earlier times. Yeah.
Like, there's like classic electric guitars and acoustic guitars and old pictures of like old cars and there's like a Green Lantern symbol in one place and
they had. So I was wandering around and there was a room that was just kind of like a junk room, I guess. And there was some pictures that had fallen and broken. And one of them I recognized from only one place in the world, and that was at Bobby's house. Tell us what it is.
It's the poster that Adam Hughes did of Women of the DC Universe.
I don't know where.
Yeah, that long
Real
one.
Power.
Where is that now?
It's right over there. It's the big poster on the.
Oh, I see it.
There's actually an interesting story to it. If you guys search it, the Real Power of the DCU with Adam Hughes. And it's like all these girls, right? All the women of the DCU, and he was told which ones to do, and they omitted Selena Kyle from it, and he said, "You guys have left off Catwoman. It's good if I put her in there." And they were like, "No, she was left off for a reason. Where we're not including her in this picture. This is about sort of powered females, and and he was like, okay." So he put Catwoman in it anyway and put her in it in a black dress. Like, I wasn't invited to your little white dress party. And then he's like, they're going to have to tell me to remove it. And when they saw it, they were like, we like it, and kept it in.
Nice.
Yeah, cool little story to it.
Nice.
But yeah, it was like shit. And there was an old, like, classic barber chair was like sitting in there, like just like a very
interesting.
a very odd but interesting decor. Like the old fridges, like the type that Indiana Jones got blew up in. Like, you know what I mean?
They didn't get blown up in.
Yeah.
Like it's an ice box.
Yeah,
that kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Did you get any ideas for Crashbox stuff?
No, I did not.
And it was packed to the gills. I mean, motherfuckers was like that one dude who I ended up sleeping there that we didn't know really. And,
Remy?
Yeah,
Remy.
I don't really know him. I'm just to say
he comes to all those the conventions and stuff.
I thought I heard you saying over there, like, do you even watch the show or do you even in the chat? And I was like, man, I don't know what's going on over there. But
no, I thought he was because people talk in our chat on ETR on Mondays, and I thought Remy was one of those people, but he says he watches, but he doesn't participate. So that was just my mistake.
Yeah.
So Remy just I think went a little further than he wanted to at the party, and just for safety's sake. Yeah,
and it was like we slept in a room that was like obviously like a meeting room for like taking out a loan or whatever. You know what I mean? And they slept in like the loan room next to us. Somebody was coughing up a lung in the middle of the night.
I didn't hear. I finally dozed off, and like
somebody was coughing so loud. It was like they were throwing up, but I didn't hear throw up. I just heard like that loud, that loud bark cough. Like I was like, man, and I didn't know if it was Matt or Vinny or like the only usual, like it would have been over there.
Yeah.
And I don't know, but it sounded like part of me wanted to be like, you guys okay? But then the 3-hour sleep version of me was like, they're gonna figure it out on their own.
That's right.
But yeah, it was cool.
It was a cool experience. We had some pizza that. I thought it was probably some of the best pizza I've ever had, but it might have just been my mindset at the moment. But it was fucking.
It was pretty good.
I ate like 4 pieces of that pizza. It was a good pizza.
The wedding itself, like it was a costume wedding, so everybody came like in costume.
Not everybody.
Well, that's true. Many people came in costume.
Everybody was in a costume of sorts.
Yeah, which was a lot to take in. And then there were some good ones, and there were some luncheon ones, and there were some bad ones. But this one girl came as Winona Ryder in Beetlejuice. That was probably my personal favorite. She looked fucking perfect. Like the hair was done, the whole bit. Like she looked fucking perfect. Their wedding started on time, which was also interesting. For those that are listening, these are the same people that showed up to my Halloween party at like 1 a.m. And he came as Gandalf and said a wizard arrives exactly when he's meant to.
Yeah, it works out perfectly.
Perfect.
And then we got drunk and sort of, talked and laughed. And it was a lot like, it's interesting. And sometimes I don't want anybody to take offense to this because I don't mean it in any offensive way. But like, there is an element of me that I think like really likes to leave work at work,
Yeah.
And like, because this was Saturday and I put up that video on Saturday, the Fans Toys, how I fell out of love with Fans Toys.
Good video.
I had a lot of people, thank you. I had a lot of people that came up to me and wanted to have a chat about that video. And I just was not in the state of mind to talk about Transformers or.
But that was the place to be, though.
Correct.
Yeah.
And how many times those people have your captive ear?
Yeah. That's also fair and true. But it was just like, man, let's not talk about that not right now. Like, and there were some other extenuating factors as I was fucked up and, but yeah, we ended up like, that house is amazing.
It's a nunnery from like the 1800s.
Yes, that has been
haunted.
The only way I know how to describe it is it has been MMC reformatted.
It definitely has
into a home, and it's amazing. It's decorated to the nines.
It's 4 legit stories of,
and it's just shit everywhere. And like some of it is like kind of like I won't say professionally, but like nicely displayed.
It's curated.
Yes. And then some of it is more kind of like meant to look like a random like thrift store or kind of like everything is done on purpose as to its level of distinct like professional display. Do you know what I mean?
You come up to the second floor and he's got this like glass case, like a jewelry case, but the low one. And it's got just random stuff in there, but he's got like the 6 scale Canada and bike. And I think he's got the Final Fantasy guy on the bike,
nice.
The big scale one, and just like, but it looks kind of like kitschy almost the way he's got it.
Yeah.
I love it though.
Yeah,
it's around every nook and cranny. There's something different.
There's always something to look at. Always something to be. You could argue that there's too much stimulation at times, Joe.
They have just recently gotten the basement serviceable.
Yep,
and JD and Chan have their workspace down there now. And
a little workout area.
Yeah, they had a workout area. They had
nice.
They had karaoke set up down there.
Oh,
so
great!
I jumped on some songs.
Yep,
I'm sure there's video evidence of that somewhere.
And it was. I'm trying to think about other things to mention about it. But it is because it is an old style house and there's a lot of people there. It's a wedding. It is a difficult house to get out of the way. You find yourself constantly in the way of someone else. You know what I mean? So that, along with it just being warm, just because a lot of people in there and everything, like Laura and I went out to the porch and just started sort of hanging out there. And then before we bumped into Chris and Kelly and then Mike and Vanessa. And then that just sort of became where we were going to hang out for the night.
We were also somehow became the goodbye party because as everybody was leaving, one of us in our state of mind decided we needed to say goodbye to everybody and got into a very deep conversation about peanut butter and a girl that I nicknamed Donut who didn't appreciate it.
That sounds.
If all I know about you is you're standing in front of me while we're having a conversation and you're eating a donut, then you earn the nickname Donut.
Yeah.
Not that I'll ever remember what she looked like to call her that again.
Well, we were I actually there was some shit that went down there that I felt a way about, but I'll deal with that later. But there was
of course.
Yeah, but there was there was like we were having a conversation and I was saying how like when it comes to peanut butter, I'm a pretty vanilla person. Like I like creamy peanut butter. I prefer Jif, except when it comes to sweet peanut butter stuff, like a peanut butter cookie, then I prefer Skippy because I find it to be a little sweeter in the first place.
This motherfucker.
Such strong opinions about. You know what peanut butter I like, Joe? The kind in a jar.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of
I don't like the natural stuff.
Gritty stuff. No, the natural stuff I'm okay with. I don't like the chunk. Like if I want to eat chunks, I'll just eat peanuts, bro.
I said the Simply peanut butter is like the LaCroix of peanut butter, and then Laura, who was on fire all night, she said, well, you drink LaCroix. And we look over, and the girl that's with Donut, she has a case of LaCroix. And I'm like, hey, can I get one of them? And she gave me one. It wasn't a LaCroix, but it was some sort of seltzer flavored thing.
It was that was fun for me to watch Laura let her hair down because she very rarely gets the opportunity.
I'll be honest with you. I've known you. We've lived here almost 6 years now, and I've never seen Laura like that. Because she's never. I mean, you guys. I know now. With the kids being older, you go out, but to go out with no inhibitions and is interesting. And I have to say this: Party Bobby, when it's not Bobby's party, is a different creature.
How so?
I don't know, man. You're just like. You're a little bit more withdrawn.
Oh, really?
Because he's not hosting.
I know.
He doesn't have to. You don't have the pressure of.
Let me tell you.
Well, I was a little bit more withdrawn in the beginning, for sure.
So JD had asked some of us to go to this specific room.
Oh God!
And we walk in, and there's these. And forgive me, I didn't quite know everybody there, but I would assume they're friends of their kids.
Okay.
Shannon and JD's kids, and
how old?
They're 16 to 22-ish, I think, somewhere in there. I don't know their exact ages, but I know one's finishing high school and one is out in the world. And we walk in, and it's me and Bobby and a couple other people that we knew had been directed to come up here. And Bobby says something like, "Hey, we were told to be in here. Were you guys?" And they're very snappy, and we're like, "No, we're just sitting up here." And then Bobby decides, okay. He says out loud, "This isn't my problem to fix." I'm just gonna. So he and I started.
This sounds like you.
And you might have said that out loud enough for them to hear something of that, but they didn't budge. So.
Right.
The people that were supposed to be in the room keep coming in, and another guy comes in. I think it was JD's brother. I'm not 100% sure. And he says something similar to these people who snap back the exact same way and don't move. And I look at Bobby and said, "Oh, another alpha has entered the room." But then I love JD to death. He has such a tender heart. He comes up there and he says, "Hey, anybody I asked to come up here, let's go." And they tried to get us to go in another room. And finally, people on the couch were like, oh, well, if you want us to leave, we'll just leave. I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
But it was a fun time. It was great seeing everybody.
And then I made a joke in there that didn't land, Joe, and it was an inappropriate joke.
Oh.
Because and to be fair, that might be why I seem more withdrawn too, is because I don't have to worry about offending guests at my party.
Your curated list.
Yeah.
The other thing is,
if I do, well then sorry, fuck you. It's my house, motherfucker. I didn't mean any harm, but but at somebody else's thing, I don't want to be the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the other thing I think was interesting is when we come over, oftentimes you'll have two or three, like we've talked about, two or three different groups of people that through your life that, I don't know all those people. And so that was our situation here because, they had family there and then a lot of people that JD knows through work and whatnot. So I just thought it was interesting seeing the dynamic of that from you because, we have a party here. Obviously, everybody that's here. I don't. Joe wouldn't.
Yeah,
Kelly doesn't.
There was a couple, I ended up hanging out with that dude Jesse and some of those dudes.
Yeah, some of his childhood friends and stuff.
At one point during the night, it was all good, but I made this fucking joke. His JD got a few of us some gifts, and let me tell you something. These are all very important people in his life. His fucking brother and all this shit. And I love JD, good dude. I have his art hung with pride in my home, but I don't deserve anything from this dude at all. I don't even deserve an invite. I'm grateful for the invite, but I don't deserve an invite to this event. But they were these pocket watches, and they all had our names on them, engraved in a little message. And within 10 seconds, I can tell everybody's got their own personal message. And mine says family from the beginning or something like that. Which is more evidence that I didn't deserve one because it's everybody else was just remember that time in June? But so he said, there's always something on there everybody has their own thing on there. And I was like, everybody's doesn't say biggest dick friend I have, does it? Nobody laughed.
One guy said,
one guy said, I've got, that's good.
One guy said, I've got smallest.
Yeah, one dude said, oh, mine says smallest. He was cool.
Yeah, sounds cool. Immediately, that guy's cool.
But I regret it. And there were so many things that I wanted to say in that room like little things that came into my head, and like I had to have this conversation with myself, like don't say it, don't say it, don't say
I
it.
do that all the time.
And then that one, I was like, this one should work. Didn't. And
I was giggling at myself on a couple things that I, not nothing inappropriate,
Right.
just things that you got to read the room or whatever.
I was trying.
But that was a great time. Thank you, Chan and JD, for opening your home. There was so much food there. Like,
Yeah.
and I took another pass through there after I ate, and there was more different food there.
Yeah.
That I didn't eat.
Eric B had a tenderloin that he
I
had.
didn't get any
It
of
was
Eric B's
amazing.
sweet meat. No. Yeah.
It was amazing though. And then the mac and cheese was pretty good.
I did. I had a secondhand experience with his sweet meat. I got to watch Gort eat his meat.
Yeah.
Yes,
That must have been something else.
Gort's a great intermediary for things of that nature.
Gort came as a shy guy. It was pretty great.
It was a red hoodie,
Different
black pants, and the mask. It was great.
It was pretty good. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed myself, and we got back to the house, ended up hanging out a bit more, and then went to bed. But because I don't really get to hang out with some of those characters very often, especially
Right.
when I'm not hosting. So like hanging out, like I don't think I've ever hung out with Mike Kincaid. And like never, like
Yeah.
I just as the circumstances have had it, we just never fuck.
Well, you guys are always both working at shows.
Correct. And sometimes we've worked right next to each other, but we just never fucking hung out. So it was cool to hang out with them. And it was interesting because like you get a better read on a dude when you hang out with them a little bit more.
Yeah.
And, I may have misread that dude.
He's a good guy. I like Mike.
Yeah. No, I've always liked him. I never, but I think in my head he was one type of character, but he's not that at all. Like I think in my head he was like a very like outgoing, like wow, like type of dude.
Like a guy. You mean like a guy's in a rock band?
Yeah, but that's the only thing about him that's in the rock band. You know what I mean? Like he's actually a pretty reserved, quiet, chill dude. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I wanted to mention that specifically happened. My fucking neighbor was there. That fucked my vibe up.
Your neighbor?
Yeah,
Wait,
I don't mean that in a bad way.
Okay.
Willie Whammo?
Lil Will.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I turned a corner and there he is looking at me and I'm like, oh, son of a bitch.
He came with his granddad so I'll tell you the backstory. So they came to NJCC and hung out all day. They were, and look, outside of being there just hanging out with us or whatever, it's a 2-hour show, right? Maybe. But they hung out all day and they hung out with Chan and JD and, they invited them and granddad came. This dude's amazing, man. We need to get him on the pod.
Yeah, he said he would do it.
So he's in his 70s, not 70s or 80s. He's never shaved. His beard is like, it's a
perfect.
virgin beard. He's never shaved his face.
Wow.
Never.
And it's not like scraggly.
No,
like,
it's
like,
perfect.
It's like perfect.
And there's no pube-looking hairs
Yeah.
coming out the sides or anything.
It's like a well-groomed old man gentleman's beard.
But he had on a Phantom of the Opera costume. And apparently, like, the costume he had on was some vintage piece from, like, the 1800s or something crazy like that. Had, like, the red with the medallion and all that. I'm like, what horrible things does this suit see? You think about that. So we walk down in the basement, and Kelly gets, I'm not saying Kelly can read the room or whatever, but she kind of gets vibes sometimes in spaces. We've been places before. She's like, nope, we're leaving. Okay. So we get down to that basement. She's like, something's happened here. I'm like, what happened? She's like, give me a minute. Turns out it was bad karaoke the whole time.
There were some other like really interesting things that I saw and had some laughs at, and not privately, like publicly. But I will reserve those for my private moments.
There you go.
But I saw some elements of true love that I will not soon forget.
Wow.
Not soon forget. Yeah. So yeah, it was a good time though, and we had a fucking blast.
Sounds great.
And it was I just can't express how it's. My wife is a lot of fun.
My
man,
wife.
when she doesn't have to be a mom.
Yeah.
And like when I get to see her not be a mom, it's always a good time.
She was I love Laura to death. I'd never seen her like that. I need more of that, Laura. So whatever we need to do to
She kids.
let her have some fun time.
She kicked me in my chest at some point. Like
Sparta?
Were you guys doing that crazy
like
head to toe thing?
Her foot? No. Like at the party.
Oh, what?
Yeah, she's like Sparta them.
I made some joke about her. You know, because we were kind of fucking with each other all night, and she was getting on me, and I was getting on her, and then she's like, "Motherfucker, kick me!" Because she used to dance and shit, so like she can throw them legs up, and like I was like, "Good!" Like she was like this like platform, like this heel, this fucking sharp ass heel in my chest. It was funny. She was walking through the grass for the wedding, and when she came back up, it was like all these like piles of leaves had been implanted on her,
Yes.
like impaled on her high heel. It was fucking funny.
They're why can I not think of his name? Holy shit. Chopper. Jesus. Their wedding cake was Chopper from
One Piece?
Rebels.
Oh.
Sorry.
I got real disappointed. I legit got real disappointed just now.
Star Wars themed wedding.
Yeah, but
Joe.
people were going as Shy Guys and fucking 1800 Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah, but they were both. They are like,
Yeah, okay.
You know, like with the.
I mean,
totem.
not that I don't like Chopper, but I really love Chopper from One Piece, so it's cool.
Breaking news, I just found this out. Today is Cyber Monday. You
Yes,
guys paying
yes, it
attention?
is.
We recorded on Black Friday and now we're recording on Cyber Monday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of ironic.
My wife, she said Michael's has 40% off today. Would you like me to buy magnets? Because we go through a ton of magnets. But
I was like, how much can one fridge hold?
yes, for crash box customs.
Yeah.
For you, none,
So she
because
bought-
it's not magnetic.
Is now.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You had to switch it out.
But they've still been.
They don't know about it.
conformed. No, they know.
Oh, they know.
But they've just become conformed.
We're talking about kids.
So
Putting stuff on
they're
the fridge.
still sticking magnets on the side of the fridge and not on the front. And like I'm just trying to enjoy it while it lasts.
Yeah, it's not gonna last.
Sideshow has BOGO, bro. I'm thinking about picking up all those Berserk books.
Who has it?
Sideshow.
But it's Bogoho.
It's use a Bogoho. We
It's a
came up with
Bogo.
that. this
Yeah,
week.
it's a Bogoho.
Yes. Yes. It is a BOGO, but it's still good. Them hoes are good, bro.
Buy one, get one half
Half off, yeah, but it's still good for those
Yeah.
books. Like, if I'm missing like 5 of them.
Yeah.
Well, I need to get 6 things. But anyway, it ends up to be a good price.
Well, let me know if you need a 6th thing because I had 2 things that were by BOGO in my cart. And I went back and they had changed one of them to just 25% off instead of BOGO eligible. So I'm like, fuck. Because now I don't want to do that.
Yeah. Dude,
But I don't need shore troopers anyways. Let's be honest.
how many more helmets do you need, bro?
Well, I didn't even look at the helmet.
Like, this is the first time in a long time that I've been like actually interested in Black Friday, Cyber Monday things. Getting the computer and then, but like it was making me spend money. Like, usually I plan out my money. I spend a lot of money, but like it's always
Sure.
I know I'm going to get stuff.
Tactical.
But right now it's just like I'm wanting to get stuff that I wasn't planning to get.
Right.
So I got, I like to get, we always get the kids shit for Christmas, obviously as a family and then from Santa Claus and the whole nine. But I always like to get them just something from me.
Is Gina still playing along to get free gifts?
She can do whatever she wants. If you don't believe, you don't
That's what
receive.
I'm saying. Like, is she still playing along so far?
In my head, Joe, she's not playing along. In my head, the magic is real. That being said, I buy them each a gift just from me, like something personal from me to them. So I got Jana for the first time she expressed that she was like, I want like a pair of sneakers, like a nice pair of sneakers, like a classic, but something cool. So I got her a pair of Air Force Ones and they're sitting up there, they're ready to go. Like just, that'll work.
That's what I did. I bought my entire family sneakers for Christmas. That'll be from me.
Selena has this obsession with seals.
Oh, yes.
And I bought her this statue from Sideshow.
Oh my god, that is awesome! Yes, you talked about it. You didn't show it. Dude, that is fucking
so good.
great.
So good.
It's like this seal
You should
sitting
have just
in.
sent her a Seal CD and see what she thinks about that.
It's sitting in a little
Batman
chair and
Forever soundtrack.
Batman Forever soundtrack.
watching its phone with its tail.
That is awesome. I love cute shit
Oh,
like that.
man.
But you always just shit on fucking dumb shit like that. But now it has a purpose.
Yeah.
Because Japanese people love to make dumb shit like that.
I downloaded Battlefront 2.
Oh, I was going to say Battlefield Earth?
No. The sequel, yeah. Battlefront 2 for it's for the PS4, but whatever.
How was it?
I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, because I told you I'm looking for some first-person shooters to play.
So it's
Talented to play Doom, bro.
yeah, it's on my list.
I mean, it's I think it was $20 online on the store, or whatever, and it's a vast, massive multiplayer online game, but there's also a story mode because
That's what I want.
Usually, it's just
and I've got it set on easy.
problem.
I mean, I'm just. It's got a ton of cool cutscenes. I'm really bad at flying fucking X-wings and TIE fighters.
Oh, I have that game. Never mind. I'm thinking about
I thought you did
Battlefield.
But this
Earth.
is a Star Wars.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
We were
what
talking about the same thing.
Yeah.
This is the Star Wars game.
Yeah, I have that.
Have you played it?
Yeah, I beat that.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
the problem with a lot of the modern first-person shooters are they're either just story games with no online, which I'm good. I like. I don't like to fucking play with other people, or they're really good first-person shooters that are meant to be online and have like a really short story tacked on, which sucks.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like all the Call of Duties and shit. I don't think anyone plays a story mode, even
Not anymore. But I usually quite enjoy the story mode.
Yeah, I like story mode stuff.
It's set up pretty nicely to like really experience the different weapons and for a purpose and not just for chaos. Like I always love a good sniper level on a fucking
Me
Call
too.
of Duty game.
I almost always run with a sniper.
But that's another reason I recommended Doom, because it's a whole thing that's first person. It's got lore. It's interesting. You'd probably enjoy the lore, I think. And
Yeah, I'm gonna get it. I have a list.
I watched the Guardians Christmas special.
Did you? I haven't watched it yet.
I didn't know that was a thing until I saw on my feed
kids.
that there's a reaction video to this video that I didn't know existed.
The kids want to watch.
Let me tell you, Joe.
Is this an actual movie?
It is definitely a thing. It is. It's 45 minutes long, counting the credits, so it's about 30.
There's all the actors in it and stuff. It looks like.
Everybody's in it, but Zoe Saldana. Who does she play? The green girl, Gamora. Gamora's not in it. It mainly focuses on Drax and Mantis.
That makes sense.
Oh, that's cool.
And
people like them.
Spoiler alert: Kevin Bacon is involved.
Oh shit!
And
I have to watch it now.
at that. It is. Bobby's either going to love it
or
because
hate
it's
it.
so Christmas, or he's going to hate it because this is technically canon and what the fuck.
It's Space Christmas, bro. The She-Hulk is canon. Everything goes now.
There's one thing that when you watch it that just it makes me cringe to look at, and I can't remember the character's name. It's the guy. He's actually James Gunn's brother. He's the skinny guy that was a Reaver.
Yeah,
has like gold teeth, whatever.
He also plays a squirrel.
He plays the Weasel
Rocket.
character.
Yeah.
No,
yeah, he
does mocap for Rocket. He plays the Weasel in the Suicide Squad. Anyways,
that character's
great.
He's got
great roles.
I guess Yondu passed him down the fin. But the way it connects to his head, there's like this little flap of skin all the way around it, and it makes me cringe so much just to see it.
I love it.
Just to see it.
Sounds great.
And the last thing I have is, guys, I joined a Facebook group.
I bet.
No way.
I bet.
And
How many are you at now?
I don't
3
know.
digits yet?
The thing that I wanted to show you is it's Mid-Journey. We've talked about that before. This is the AI processing. I've messed around with it a little bit. I haven't gotten good, but
I wish I could. I mean, I think I would. When it gets better, I'll probably get into it. It'll save me a lot of work.
It is incredible. I'm trying to find the ones. So somebody did like, okay, this is if H.R. Geiger did the Teletubbies.
Oh wow!
But like the quality of the art, like you can't tell me.
Amazing because no one did it. The computer did it.
Right.
It's like, bro.
Let me see.
What do you think about that? Like, there's like significant pushback to it. Have you seen this?
Yes.
a
little bit before. Like, I don't know.
Like from a lot of artists.
Yes.
Like,
I get where they're coming from. It's hard, man. I don't think there's a right answer to this.
It's tricky,
but it's fucking amazing though for everybody else.
I mean, this is alien immigrants in London in the 1800s. It's
like how, like, I don't understand.
Let me see if I can find that.
It has become, because I'm always like, with sufficient enough technology, it looks like magic to anyone lower. And this is starting to be magic to me, and like I'm into technology, and I'm like, I don't understand this.
So this is a trend, and I don't know how long these trends are going to last with this. I would imagine not long, but the trend right now is on the set of. So I don't know exactly how they whittle it down, but this is on the set of Star Wars. But these are not real pictures. These are
maybe this.
Oh, sorry. Here, just scroll through and look. I mean, it's very. I mean, it looks like it's real.
Yeah. Like because like I've seen like.
I mean, it kind of gives me the creeps, to be honest.
I mean, it's uncanny valley.
It definitely is.
I mean, it's like how is an AI, artificial intelligence, doing this without actual intelligence, without some kind of sentience, right? Because so far we haven't achieved sentience as far as we know. But this shit is like,
except that one shit that Google made that like was feeling sad and shit. That's pretty close to sentience.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. Maybe, well, we're the Turek test. But remember I talked about the fact that one of the artists in some art contest won using Midjourney. And everyone's like, well, you shouldn't win. But he said, yeah, but I put the words in and did it over many iterations before I got the image I wanted. So I guess it depends, because it's different. Until the program can do exactly what you say, like you still need people, right? For like design reiteration. And if you just generating a cool prop, okay, I want a cool armored dude, so you just keep telling it to make cool armored dudes, so you pick one. But if you have something specific in mind, you can't be like, change this line, move this here, move that there. You kind of need people.
So I'm not sold. I'm not sold on one argument or the other.
Yeah, same.
But if somebody comes to me and commissions me to do a man in armor, so to speak, and I do it, and he's like, perfect, he's not the artist there.
Right. That's true. Well, yeah. That's the hard part, right? But what if it was his design? Like for example, for me, like I have the dude I drew. This is the best of my abilities. I can't do better than this yet. But I want somebody to redo my character, bro.
Jedi's from the 70s is what this is.
Perfect. Is that that guy?
They got some cod pieces.
But I asked another artist, a better artist, that can you draw my character better with my design? At that point, it's kind of collaborative work, right? Because he didn't design the character; he just used his technical skills to.
I don't think so. I know what you're saying, but I did a sound wave and tapes, and I didn't design these characters, but I still wouldn't consider it a collaborative work.
No, and that is, I don't know, but one thing I do want to say is, for some reason this can't get hands right. Look at his fingers. He's got he's got 9 fingers or something.
Oh, it's Star Wars though.
That makes sense.
Sure, I guess so. But I love this guy.
Yeah,
he'd get.
I like it. I mean, those are good designs.
They are,
and I think it's cool as shit.
It is amazing to me, like not just visually, but technologically.
But
speaking.
I do think it's in a space that needs some sort of alignment to it.
It's great. We have to look at it differently. It's something that's not going away.
Well, look, I'm not. I'll be honest with you. The reason I want to get into it to help me process my diorama ideas to fucking. But I can use it for. I'm going to use it as a tool. I'm not going to produce. I'm not planning to produce artwork.
Not everyone is an artist, right? Not everyone has.
Come on, shit like that.
Yeah,
I could. Even if I have it in my head, I can't get it here.
Yeah, but using it as a tool to me, what I'm saying, is without problem. But it's being like, people are taking this, printing prints, and selling them at shows.
But I might steal this design.
Right. And
but it's unique.
It's ultimately fine.
Yeah.
It's ultimately fine, but it's like, I've seen now people setting up booths next to it and having signs saying that our neighbor is using AI work. It is not, his pen to paper or whatever the case may be.
Yes, but it's up to the consumer at that point, right? At the end of the day, right, how much do we care about whether somebody knitted my shirt or if it was made in the factory? Because remember how impressed I was when we cut that flag up for your diorama, that shirt has no seams. It was not sewn. It was a tube of fabric.
Right.
You can't make that, right?
Right.
So it's up to the person. You want free range eggs or you want fucking artificial eggs?
It comes down to
possum meat or whatever the fuck.
It comes down to this. You guys aren't. None of us are at this point. I know you have in the past. We all have. None of us are using pencil and paper to create what we're doing. I'm not molding things out of clay.
Yeah, and I'm not
using a machine. Yeah. Does that take away?
I'm using.
It's just using another tool.
Or there's things I couldn't do per se, like coloring, right? Using Procreate to color. I can't fucking color like that in person without that tool.
Do you think that typing into an AI space Jedi from the 70s and having that is the same as somebody?
It's not, but it's not that easy.
It's much more than that.
And I'm not saying even what they're doing. I don't know if it's artistic or not. I just think it's funny to look at shit.
Yeah.
No, but I want to have the conversation about
I'm really into this conversation.
Yeah,
I want to show you I have to find. I have to send you a video. A guy demonstrating. Okay, I'll show you how I make a cool looking chest, like a treasure chest.
Treasure chest.
I want you to like just watch it, just to see the iterative process. But yeah, it's not as simple as that, but it also is at the same time, right? You can plug in. I want it to be a combination of this artist and this artist and this artist in the style of this video game and this object, and you can make it do what you want. And I think it's great for people who aren't, right? Like I said,
this one's amazing. They did like
so we all agree it's great.
Yes.
What we're talking about is
art,
is the ethics of it.
Yeah, and like for personal use, not even just for personal use. See, the thing is, if it's different, like just like commercial art, is commercial art wrong? Is doing quote unquote art just to draw something cool just so you can sell prints? Because like Andy Warhol, whatever, didn't they have like a factory of dudes just right? And he just signs his name. What's the difference, right? Was it that different if he had somebody else do things in his style and he signed it and he sold it as his, right? Then that's what he did?
Right. Well,
I'm not arguing.
I don't know all the ins and outs of that. But
again, I'm not arguing one way or another. I'm just putting things on the table.
No, see, that's my thing is to me, like, I don't know where I stand on it.
Yeah, same. Exactly.
You know, but I know that something feels off to me.
It does feel off.
Well,
but also,
let me ask you this. You're set up at a convention.
Yeah.
For some reason, you're set up right next to Todd McFarlane.
Right.
You're selling a Spawn print.
Right.
How does he feel? He's like,
how does he feel about that?
This is my character.
I'm sure he feels a way about it, but it's still not the same thing.
I'm just throwing things out on the table.
Yeah, exactly. Which is
this is
idea.
So
why is it different?
Because that's an intellectual property issue. I'm not saying anything about intellectual property.
Okay.
You know, I'm talking about just like if the AI has the ability to do something just infinitely better.
Let's say this. You're set up at your booth selling your wares. You've got your Soundwave collage. You've got a Batman collage. All your big collage pieces. Next to you is a guy who has, through AI, has a Soundwave print and a Batman print. And are you competing for the same business?
Yeah.
You think so?
100%.
Okay.
My question, though, is if...
And he's going to smoke my boots.
That's what I'm saying. My question is...
and not just my boots. He's going to fucking smoke everybody's boots.
It's both, like, at the end, it's consumer end, right? Because regardless of the art of it, the idea of art, we're talking about commercial, we're talking about, like, selling stuff, products. So at the end of the day, people vote with their wallets, right? If an AI can do art better than somebody else and somebody buys the AI art, I don't think that's wrong.
I don't necessarily think it's wrong either, but I think to consider it art in any way, shape, or form, and to consider the person that typed in the words an artist, I think is wrong.
Okay, but we had this, I want to say, argument, conversation before where I don't necessarily consider some musicians to be artists sometimes if all they do is
push buttons.
Either push buttons, do covers only, or don't write any of the music at all. It's like a fine line, right? I'm like, well, are you...
You got to separate the art from the artist from the music.
But I still...
Like, you're a performer, yeah, but you're not a musician. I don't know. So I've always been weird about that. If you like, I always appreciate more when people write their own, at least lyrics.
That's why you like Chris Gaines and not Garth
exactly,
Brooks. Garth Brooks didn't write any of his songs.
Chris Gaines had a tragic past.
I know.
I
was Chris Gaines this weekend.
But I don't think that somebody saying, like somebody walking into a studio and there's people in there with instruments and such and saying, make a song that sounds like Michael Jackson, but if Michael Jackson made the song in the 60s and walks out, I don't think that person is the artist there.
He'll get a producer credit.
Yeah, and that might be a better word for it.
So, I think it's a producer.
Yes, producer.
Like, look, I'll be honest with you, and I think that may be a better word for what I feel like I do. I produce a product.
I think it's what I do too.
Yeah,
Same. I think call myself a technician.
I'm not saying I don't have some artistic skill, but listen, I put shapes in a particular order.
Yeah.
And stack them. That's what mine breaks down to. It's all the little things we've learned here and there, and we pile it all up. But now they say a computer can do my job better than I can do it.
But I know a guy.
That's from Outkast.
I know a guy who has the expensive app, right? The app that does this shit is like $24 a month or something.
Well, this is through Midjourney, which is actually works through Discord,
Yeah.
which I'm going to have Mason sit down with me tonight and like.
Did we finally talk on Discord, bro?
Well, I have a Discord. I just don't use it.
I do too.
But
You
like
motherfuckers.
well,
It's just not,
No,
it's not as easy.
it's just not as convenient for me because everybody I talk to is on Facebook.
Yeah, I'm
or
just
text.
opposite of you guys.
But nonetheless, I think my problem, because I mess around with it and I can't quite get what I wanted to do, but I think some of it is me just being a dummy about Discord.
It can be complicated.
But either way, like the like I know a guy who had like the Wonder program, right? Like that's the one that's for phones. That's like the
That's
most
what everybody's
sophisticated
using on the phone, okay.
right? But it's $25 a month, I think, or some shit like that.
Wow.
Like it's expensive, and he has shared pictures with me. They're great, but he'll be like Batman played by Tim Burton. It's not sophisticated what he's typing in. It's not trial and error 100 times.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
literally that.
right.
So it's like I'm cool with it because I think the shit is fucking cool. I just feel like there needs to be some sort of reorganization to how we view it. Not we as us three, but we as a society. I think if we view it the same as what Todd McFarlane is doing, we're losing something.
Yeah, I mean it's a creative process, right? And like, but the problem also comes down at the end of the day is we know at this table the question is what is art. Honestly, though, because some people have a top-down view and some people have a bottom-up view. So sometimes for me, it's like it's art if I see it as art. I don't care where it comes from, who made it, and why. If it invokes something in me, that is art to me. Where some other people view it's like for you, it's the intention of the artist, right?
Yes.
That makes it art.
Yes.
So just that view alone changes how we look at this because art is subjective.
Yeah, I think even with this, my issue isn't necessarily around the art.
It's about the credit.
It's about the artist. Like, let's say that I see Tim Burton as the Joker or whatever, right? And it evokes something in me. I'm okay with saying that that's art to me.
Yeah.
But I'm not okay with saying that the person that typed it in is the artist. But I am okay with saying that the AI is an artist. But then that's the question of
exactly.
Can some inanimate thing be an artist?
Right.
Because the AI is worthless without the person typing it in.
Right.
And I don't think the person typing it in is an artist.
So, but you also said before, an artist, what makes something art depends on the intention, right? If the person who types something in, it's not just for mass sale. He's working it to invoke something, right? His intention is to create art. Does that make it art?
Okay,
and I don't know.
Now let's take it a layer further. This person created this through an AI, and I decide I want to make a physical version of this.
Yes.
How does that sit with me then? Where am I in this conversation? Let's say I take this home and lay it out.
You're a craftsman.
Okay.
Yeah, because you don't claim to be an artist in the first place, so that makes it a difference.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's
because it's separate, right? When we talk, the sub is arts and craft. No, I'm saying, right? It's just funny, right? It's arts and craft. It's not one category.
It's one aisle at Walmart. It's the arts and crafts aisle.
But you're only doing
It's the arts and crafts.
Or you're doing craft, or you're doing a combination of both, but you can do one without the other.
Either way, pipe cleaners are involved.
Right. And I do think it's cool. I'm here for it.
But yeah, that guy winning an art contest is weird.
I just think it needs some framing.
I mean, look, here's the deal.
Yes.
But he didn't lie about it. He told the committee, I used this.
Yeah.
It's up to the committee to be like, that's not acceptable.
Well, listen, at the same time, I don't think if you're having an art contest, I think you should, and this isn't a knock to anybody who does digital art, because I wish I was better at doing that. I don't think a digital art piece should be in the same category as an oil paint.
See, that's subjective too, because there are traditional artists who shits on us digital artists because it's like that's not real art, that's not real skill.
Listen, it's the same. I think it's about technique. I think the techniques to do an oil painting, like a professional oil painting, versus doing digital art in any capacity, I think they're just very different skill sets they don't cross over, because a digital artist.
True.
I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'd say the majority of people who do digital art don't know how to do an oil painting.
But the other way around too, though.
And the other way around. So I don't think you should be. It's like
a different genre. But see, my thing is, I don't even think that whether or not you're skilled in it makes it art or not art. Do you see what I'm saying? Like,
I'm specifically talking about on a contest.
In a contest,
saying the same thing. Have an AI art contest.
Yes.
Don't enter AI art in in the whatever with oil paintings and digital art that's done
is a different medium.
You have to separate.
It needs to be viewed as a different medium.
I mean, everything should be separated. It would be like the Olympics. Digital art to an oil painting.
It would be like the Olympics having the hammer throw and figure skating in the same category.
They have the triathlon. That's kind of similar.
I don't think
shoot guns and then skate.
That's the biathlon.
No, they right. Am I crazy? They skate around with the skis and then they shoot.
It's a cross country ski and then you shoot a gun.
That's right.
That's one of the things you're talking about.
Stupid.
I don't think anybody does ice skating to music and then shoots guns immediately after. Actually, America. You know what? This is a big country. It's a big world. They're probably doing some weird shit in Finland right now. That might be part of it.
Yeah, like it's just something that like I don't have a definitive stance on it.
Yeah,
it's just something that
I'm chewing on it for a long time now.
On it because like
I keep thinking about it.
I don't know how much skill a Pollock painting takes.
A what?
A Pollock paint.
A paint splatter paint.
Oh yeah. You know, I never understood abstract art myself.
You know, I don't know how much skill that takes.
Mm-hmm. And you have to take the word of the dude to say that his intention is art versus selling you.
Well, because that's really the thing.
Because they could be. You tell me there's no motherfucker phonies out there who's like this pretends that it's art when they're just splashing paint to sell.
Well, I mean, there's those people who do they'll put the canvas on the ground on like a turntable, and then they'll like have the paint can with the hole poked in it, and they throw the paint can and spin the canvas, and it comes up with some incredible stuff.
But that's almost art too. That's a technique.
What? That's almost like the AI art, though, isn't it?
Isn't it? All of it's technique.
Yeah. I got techniques dripping out of my butt cheeks, Joe. I have to sleep in my stomach so I don't fuck up my sheets.
But the question is like, the question I guess really is like, is it art? You know,
it's the question. I wasn't kidding.
How closely does skill need to be tied to it, if at all?
What's Jisk, man?
Yeah, it's interesting. That's a good conversation.
Yeah, no, we're
not done with it.
I love this topic because I love art and I love AI and technology in general.
Here's one more thing to throw in here.
Mm-hmm. You don't need faces, first of all.
Prophet of the faceless. I have to say it every week, so if somebody else comes up with it, we were first. Prophet of the faceless. Let's say that Bobby draws the Prophet of the Faceless. Mm-hmm. I can put that into Midjourney.
Midjourney right now and see what it comes up with.
I can take your picture that you drew and put it in there, and it will give me infinite variations on that based on what I say.
You can ask how many.
I wanted
20 iterations.
I wanted 80s grain finish. Sepia style 3D. I mean, you can get in the weeds with, and that's what these people that are doing this stuff. This isn't click, 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 boom. Here we go. This is
some of it is though.
Some of it is. But just like the paint splash, though, some of it is paint splash. Some of it is really someone putting their soul out into it.
And I think that may be the difference.
The intention, but you can never to get this. You don't know someone's intention.
If you get thing A doing activity A and then thing B doing activity A. That I think is pretty intuitive to the system, but to get some of the nuance that I was just showing you guys,
I can tell you, I think it's like, not to say that
I've been in these programs. I've seen all the shit
a guy do it right in front of me
on one fucking phone app, and I'm not sure that's going to.
And it looks amazing.
Okay, I'm not saying it doesn't, Bobby. I'm not saying it.
But my point is that you can't measure an aesthetic quality based on what you think is going into it, because it can be completely random.
You're not wrong.
Like, and so to even hold that measuring stick up against it, it's like, it says who?
You're right about all of it.
In general, art is subjective. Everyone has
everybody has their own opinion.
Yeah, but I don't mean good or bad. I just mean.
Well, we all measure. We all measure that differently too, as we've discovered. It's not just how cool.
No. I mean, like, I can type in Chris Pinkerton fiddles with a remote control in 2022, and then it can just pop up, and that can be it. But then I could always tell Chris Pinkerton, I put in Chris Pinkerton fiddles with remote control from 22, then from 21, then I did Chris Pinkerton in soft lighting, hard lighting. I did 30 different things, but you don't know that to be true.
Right.
You know, that's my thing. It's like, and then does that even matter? Does effort matter? Does any of it matter? You know, like,
because you get the argument,
and I mean that truthfully.
You know, me too.
Dude, not sarcastic.
Especially since having gotten back into drawing and then watching tutorials or whatever, just everyone's like use reference. Where before that, I was always part of the group of basically non-artists who are like using references cheating, right? Because if you're looking at something and you're drawing something off of it, even if it's just based off of it and not looking like it, it's still, you're not making something yourself. But then the artists, I was like, no, we're trained artists. Like, we create things from reality. If you don't know what a thing looked like in reality, you will never do good art. I'm like, yeah, that's true. So that itself, just using reference alone, is like, well, you're not creating something out of your brain from scratch, so it's not 100% you. You know, some people will argue that.
Yeah, but I think, once again, I think it comes down to intention, and because you can sit there and be like, man, I want to perfect drawing a stormtrooper, and you can look at a reference of a stormtrooper, but that to me isn't art. It's training. It's practice. It's, but then when you actually sit down to do
practice,
we're talking about practice,
not a game, not a game,
but practice, man. Practice.
One, I mean, we can talk about this all day, but one last thing I want to say about it is,
I can talk about this all day. I love this.
I want to use it as a tool. I want to use this as a tool, and I want to say, like that panel that I just showed you, and that was somebody's. If so and so director directed Tron, is what that picture's from, but. I'm wondering, can I take that and say, isolate that wall and say, make a blueprint of that?
Yeah.
Will it spit that and put it in AI format so I can put it in Illustrator? I don't know. I just,
even just for inspiration.
I don't think, right. I know for the inspiration, that's definitely something I can do. But if I can literally take what I have in my head told it to do, and I'm not saying I'm an artist, but I'm using a computer aided program here to do it, and then if it'll put it in a format which I can easily add into one of my programs and not have to completely create it from scratch.
I think a lot of it is just a disclosure.
I think the next 10 years are going to be
people
wild.
Because
in this shit,
being commercial is different, selling prints is different, but like for people who are at limited with whatever artistic skill it is they are at, I think this is amazing for someone who has, because you hear this a lot. I have so many ideas in my head. I can't put it on paper because I just don't have the skill. And for people in general to be able to be creative without having the talent to be able to do it, be able to use something else. Basically, this is commissioning this, right? Except they don't have to pay for it. They're using an AI for it.
Yeah, but nobody ever confuses the commissioner as being the artist.
No. That's what I'm saying. Disclosure is
it's important.
But it's cool.
But even that, right? And I think it is time to move on.
Yeah.
But even that, right? Let's say, because I like where you're going. But let's say I'm like, all right, I want to see the Joker in a daisy field with the sun bathing on him, and he's actually content.
Okay,
right? That's my vision. Right?
Wow.
Okay,
that says something about you, Bobby.
Yeah, so it says that I'm good at stringing together adjectives randomly, is what it says. But so then I have this vision, clear as day in my head, right? But I lack the skill, knowledge, and ability to produce it myself.
Yes.
So I type in that to the AI, and the AI produces something that's not what's in my head, but it's sure as shit better than what was in my head. And now I get to say, oh no, this was what was in my head.
Yes, that's true.
That's where it all gets tricky for me.
Yeah.
Anyway, how else was your nerd?
That was it. That was it.
It generated a good fucking talk.
No, it did.
Yeah, I could talk about this for hours.
And I knew it would. And some of these images that are coming out with, man,
I'm waiting.
I'm just waiting on a fully AI generated movie. And I'm just wondering how I don't know. Because
you can put anyone's face on them. Anybody.
Hey, listen,
your face,
prophet
my face.
of the faceless. Say it, everybody. Prophet of
Benedict Cumberbatch.
On anybody's body.
Sure.
On Sharon Stone's body.
Put Gary Oldman on my face.
It's like
so to speak. Hey, yo,
Star Wars.
That does not come off right.
Well, here's Bobby's first entry if he ever got into Midjourney would be Star Wars, but everybody's Gary Oldman. And then he was
if I could make a movie, Episode 9 of Rian Johnson did it.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, the first one you would never need pornography again.
That's what I'm saying. How many people are using this for porn?
Dude, I said that to Kelly last night. I wonder if they have any sort of...
It's only a matter of time if it hasn't.
You can ask them to do anything.
Anything, Joe. Anything. But that's me.
Joseph?
Fuck. I have nothing after that. Hold on. Finished British Bake Off, regular season and holiday season. Great. Love it. Makes me want baked goods that you just can't get or I don't know where around here. I'm sure there's bake shops in Frederick.
There's some really nice
like,
bakeries in Baltimore.
Yeah, that's probably how I have to go if I want like a fucking Battenberg or like a fucking whatever tennis cake or whatever.
There's this one place, man, on Bel Air Road. I forget the name of it, but like to die for.
Because they make stuff from all over the world and all kinds of different recipes from things I've never heard of. I'm like, man, how do I even fucking get that? That looks amazing.
Yeah.
Let's see. I watched all of Tales of the Jedi and all of what was his face? Andor.
Yeah.
Over the weekend. I told you I would watch all of it.
Let's do one.
I'm going to do Tales of the Jedi first. Okay. Funny thing? Well, it's really Tales of Ahsoka and Tales of Dooku.
It really is.
Yeah.
But young Dooku looks like Dracula, and that makes perfect sense.
He definitely does.
Right.
True.
I was like, oh,
it's
shit.
definitely on brand.
Did you do that on purpose?
True. Good call.
And but I loved it. And watching the fall of Dooku, seeing like where he's coming from and being right, basically. And like, because I don't know, I just love that Krista also loves Star Wars. Now we have Star Wars discussions while we watch it. So like, the fucking Jedi was never gonna last with the way that they do things. Right? Yeah, it's nice. Yeah. It's good to see in hindsight. You can't just fucking kidnap babies forever. First of all, and like keeping shit secret and pretending to be peacekeepers ain't gonna work. Yeah, you have to take a stance, and it's just in real life. Like you don't. What do they say? If you don't stand for something, you fall for
anything.
Yep.
So like you gotta be proactive one way or the other.
Yeah. I mean, I think like not to upset everybody. I know everybody gets upset, but like I think that's what Rian Johnson understood about the Jedi. Like that's what he drilled into Luke's character, was that Luke figured it out.
Yeah,
Luke's the only one, and maybe arguably Qui-Gon, that figured it out and was like, "This isn't right.
This isn't right. Yeah.
We've never been right. We're part of the problem."
Yes,
I love that about Luke and that movie. But
yeah, and just seeing a younger Mace and a younger Dooku and a younger Qui-Gon, I loved. I put down. I think Clone Wars, just the Clone Wars genre, except for Bad Batch, because I haven't watched it. Like it's my like definitive Star Wars. I think that's the best Star Wars.
It's really good
overall with how long it is, because it's good Star Wars.
Expansive, super expansive too, like encompassing.
And the Ahsoka episode, like I did not expect that ending, and then that ending kicked me in the chest. Like that ending gave me feels.
It's funny that got you the way it did, and only because that was my least favorite episode.
Okay,
and as I was watching it, I agree with you in one sense, but I'm going to get there. As I'm watching it, I'm like, oh, this is to explain how she was able to handle all those clone troopers.
See, that's not what I got out of it.
But hold on.
Yeah.
Like, and I was like, but I saw it from a million miles away. So like the whole rest of the show, I was just like, all right, I get it. It's not easy. And she's gifted in that way because she had this teacher. I get it. However, when she did walk into the room at the end, it did evoke the feeling regardless. But I'm not sure if I think the whole 15 minutes was worth the last minute for me.
Yes, okay. I agree. But I don't. I think I pulled something a little different out of it. I didn't see that training as part of why she was able to do it. I still think she was able to do what she did because she is good. She was naturally gifted from birth, right? As we saw from the first episode. And that she has gone through a lot before that point. She fought Maul before that, right?
Before the training?
No, before the final battle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she gone through a lot.
Yeah, no.
To get there. So and that training was when she was really young, kind of new. So I didn't equate the two.
Oh.
I just equate
I think that training is trying to show, this is why when there was 6 clone troopers, they took out fucking every other Jedi that was out there, the fucking dickhead dude, everybody else,
a dickhead dude.
Nobody else stood a chance against a handful of clones, and then here she is against the whole battalion.
Well, she was also ready. She wasn't shot in the back.
Agreed. But I think it is trying to draw that comparison of like Anakin was training her perhaps more rigorously and to an extreme than a lot of other Jedi were getting.
Yes,
trained,
I did get that,
Okay.
but I just didn't equate her fighting clone troopers in the practice is why she could fight the clone troopers in the future. And
okay.
I just said that she did get extra training. Anakin cared about her and gave her extra training and said, "I want you to be prepared for anything."
Yeah.
Right, and she was, and also shows her tenacity, and that by the end of the training, she was like, "Okay, I get it. I get why." He wants me to do this, not to punish, it's not to fuck on me.
Yeah.
Then it shows more bond because at the beginning you think Anakin just wants to put her in her place, but by the end you're like, oh no, he cares.
Yeah.
So I got that out of it more than the physical training part.
Gotcha.
But and saying that I loved it. I didn't see the ending coming because I don't know why.
So I didn't see the ending coming, which is what got me in the field.
Yes.
But I knew what it was. In my head, I was like, oh, this is for that moment when it happens. Okay. Seeing her walk in, I didn't expect to see.
Okay. So I understand now why you don't like that as much because I didn't see that going in. I just fucking I loved it. I want more Clone Wars stuff.
That are you able to make sense of that Yaddle scene for me at all?
What do you mean?
So she realizes
it's cool to see more Yoda people.
So Dooku kills her.
Yes.
After the death of Qui-Gon. Mm-hmm. But she's at Naboo at the funeral.
Is it the same person?
But that's Yaddle, yeah. I've mentioned this a few times, and nobody's been able to explain it to me.
I don't know. Was it after the funeral? Is that when they?
She's on Coruscant when she gets the news. She gets the news on Coruscant, and then follows Dooku directly to where he's going.
So, unless she stopped by Naboo to go to the funeral,
because she follows.
But he was. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's an error.
Because unless there was a gap there that they wasn't good at directing.
Yeah.
There was other things happen, and then
6 weeks later,
exactly something like that.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem that way. When I watch, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it doesn't seem that way. I didn't even think of that because it's easily missed by probably. Because we also talked about that Star Wars is so expansive now, and not only are movies and series out of order from each other, the series are spread throughout multiple movies, in between movies.
Yes.
So it makes timing
wonky.
really, really crazy. You have to watch this movie, then these episodes, then this movie, then these other episodes.
Shift gears with your brain. Yeah.
And then also this other series, and disperse those episodes into this series' episodes. Mm-hmm. I try to keep it track in my head. If I don't notice it, the problem.
Right.
It's good enough.
What is it? Ignorance is bliss.
Yeah. And I love Andor.
It's good, right?
Man, that's an A, easy A.
I'm on my third watch of it, man.
It's good.
It is so. When I think
what stands out?
Why I'm so mad at episode 9 or anything. Well, I didn't watch Bad Batch, but I'm mad about it for everybody. Sure, it's because it can be so good. Mm-hmm. So when it's bad, really good parts. And when it's really bad.
It's actually, in my opinion, it's almost hard to make. It's like they had to go out of their way to make some of this shit as bad as it's been.
But here's the thing, guys: we're not the target audience for some of this shit.
But we should. 9.
We should. I know you're right. Look,
they didn't know what we wanted.
I think we can all admit, and I think most of the people at Disney will even admit that the way it lands now, that last trilogy is a train wreck.
And I think we're also the target for audience for Boba.
Yes.
And I hated it. I didn't hate it. I take that back. Good. I really don't like it. There are some parts that are cool, not even good. There's some parts that are cool. The Mandalorian parts are good.
Yes.
Right? So those are good.
And that almost feels like they were halfway through making this show and you're like, you know what we need? We need some Mandalorian in this.
I agree.
But then on the other side, there's this, which is, this is everything I've wanted from Star Wars as an adult. I have to say that there's not a lightsaber to be found.
Yes.
Unless whatever Lucian's rolling with, there's some kyber crystals in there.
That may be the problem why people don't isn't as popular though. I think there are a lot of, I don't want to say quote unquote fans, but quote unquote fans of certain series like Star Wars where they really enjoy one aspect of it, or they think something is really cool, so they become a fan and not have the depth of fandom to dig in.
So I'll tell you, I think I'm the opposite of that exact thing.
Yes.
I'm
in the middle.
Right. So I like most of it. I like the mercenary stuff. I like the Force stuff, obviously. I like the Rebel stuff. Mm-hmm. I like the Empire stuff. But the one thing in Star Wars I'm not crazy about, I'm afraid that we're going to eventually get something, and it could be great. I just don't know if I want to be in that particular space for so long. Double entendre, by the way, it's coming. Is like the dogfighting stuff.
Okay.
Like, I think it's cool enough, and I can tolerate it in a movie when other shit is going on. But a whole movie based around, or show based around like the Rogue Squadron or something like that,
if that
I think
happens.
it might be too much for me of that stuff.
I think if that show comes to light, it's going to be very Top Gun-ish.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, the
I'll
dog
watch
fights
it.
were incredible, and I don't mind that stuff. But I will say that I thought Andor had a perfect amount of spaceship shenanigans.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just like the scene with Luthen when he dumps the he's on the tractor beam,
Yeah,
and
that
he
was
dumps
good.
those
Shrapnel
piece or it's a bird. I don't know what they call it. Basically, you shoot that out to make missiles hit something other than you. I don't remember what they call it.
Chaff.
Yeah, so he dumps that, knowing.
Yeah, the tractor beam was to suck all that shit
So
up.
who do you
It's great.
who do you think this dude is? I mean, who do you think Luthen Royale is? Do you think he's a Jedi? Do you think he's
No.
just this guy? Because we don't have a backstory on him.
he's a smart and powerful
Hey,
man.
There's another movie. There's another series waiting to happen.
He's a great actor too.
That guy. He was so wasted in the MCU.
Yes.
That goofy
But
character.
I mean, I want to see him more. I will see him more in Dune.
Was he in Dune?
I want to watch it. I've
He
been in
was
the
a
mood
bad
to watch
guy in-
Dune again.
I've not seen Dune.
Oh, dude.
I need to watch it.
I don't think it's great, and I still think it's worth watching.
Yeah,
Just-
it
it's
could
visually
become.
stimulating. I mean, it's something to sit down
and
and-
audibly, like your eyes and ears will just feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And when Joe, there was around that time, like Joe sat down and explained to me, like I need the movie before Dune,
Yes.
you know, to make sense of it.
Oh, does it just
there's
kind of jump into some shit?
Well, the
For
Dune
me,
is
it
like
did.
10,000 years
Yes.
of shit. So
like Star Wars. Gotcha.
yeah, but Star Wars has like KOTOR and stuff.
I'm glad.
I want to say that because my favorite part of that whole show was that post humanist or humanist. I'm not sure how to say it when they're dead. Speech at the funeral that
Oh,
she
yeah.
gives. That's my favorite
bro.
Then
singular
he tries
moment.
to throw the cover over it and it halfway falls off and she
Yeah, like that is
And then got Sparta
shit,
kicked in
man.
the chest.
what she says there, and how you can see what she's saying resonate with people. Like somebody saying what you've been thinking but have never known how to articulate. It's my favorite part of that whole.
Someone like a pep rally, Joe. When everybody's on the same page. I mean, I love that.
And what did you
Good
think
show.
of the post-credit scene?
I thought it was cool. I liked it. I know you felt out of place, but I'm like, no, this is. I
don't-
really liked it.
I don't know if
Using slave labor to make death ray to kill, be more tyrannical.
And
it's great.
that tells you this. That was just that one little piece. How many of these kind of places are around the galaxy?
Right, nobody knows what's going on.
Nobody
they
knows
were
what's
saying
going
like
on.
there are these Philistines.
Nobody's
everywhere.
listening.
Yeah, I didn't think necessarily that it was out. Like I said, like I thought it was cool to see the connective tissue of what they were doing to what. Like I like that idea, and I don't hate it. I don't think I would have preferred it been at the end of the show instead of after the credits. That's
okay.
That's
Instead
one.
of-
You
that's
have a
one-
placement, and it is.
It makes
it's out of-
sense.
yeah.
It makes sense.
And it feels it, and there's something about it that feels like, not that it's wrong. I know people get defensive when I use this word. It feels fan servicey.
I will tell you
in a show that doesn't feel very fan servicey.
I will tell you, I have something on that, but I will tell you that I would almost imagine that Tony Gilroy, that was done after he was done, and they're like, "Hey, we're going to tack this on
I would
at the
bet a
end."
paycheck on it.
Yeah. We say there's not a lot of fan service, but there is so much fan service in it. Like Luthen's shop is chock full of fan
Easter
service.
eggs, but it's
Yes.
but it's not
then-
like overtly in
Oh,
your
it's
face.
Plo Koon.
Exactly.
I thought you were dead.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, come on. Two Tubes isn't fan service, Bobby.
YouTube speaking.
So him.
Dude,
So he is, but
it's
I
great.
like that he called him tubes, man.
to me, yes,
tubes.
yes.
It's tubes.
It's
He was
Tubes.
great,
He tells
by the
me
way.
everything.
Like you
Ask him.
called it. It's tubes. You knew tubes before it
That
was
guy
tubes.
was probably on the shit list for 6 weeks because of that.
But fan service to me is like, it doesn't necessarily. Fan service to me is when it doesn't serve the story. Like Saul serves the story.
He does.
So all that shit makes sense.
It's great too.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Just their interactions and
And like this, all the implications. Well, the problem is, I was talking to Krista saying, I think this is just a good show, period. But she's like, it's hard to be unbiased. She's like, even her, who's who can't remember everything about Star Wars knows so much that she doesn't know if someone who doesn't know anything about Star Wars can watch this and enjoy it in the same way.
That's a fair question.
Right? Because we can't take our knowledge out of it.
Yeah, that's a fair question.
Watching the interaction and the conversations, you can know the implications underneath it. And you know who those characters are. Watching Royale and fucking Saul talk.
Is it good?
Right?
Is it good in a vacuum?
Yeah, you know what
It'd be
they're
hard to
implying
find.
because you already know the characteristic of Saul.
The problem is to get somebody to, if it was a 2-hour movie, I think, like, I'll give you an example. Mason's girlfriend has never seen Star Wars, any. And I asked her the other day, would you sit and watch a Star Wars movie with us? And she said, I have absolutely no interest in ever watching Star Wars. I was like, okay, if you change your mind, let me know.
Yeah, you can always try it. Just like Chris, I was never into Gundam. So I was like, watch one episode with me, and then she's into Gundam.
Let's watch episode 2 with no context.
But that was gonna be my question. If you meet the Virgin Star Wars
Episode 4. It's a gimme.
Me too.
That or maybe Rogue One. Rogue One followed directly by episode 4. If they were like, what's next? Well,
yeah,
I think
4 is the right way.
It's not 1.
No.
Or 7.
So I don't think 7 is a bad jumping on point, but I think that.
But then you have to watch 8 and 9.
But then you get to 9.
You have to watch 9. You have to get to 9.
And then they say somehow.
Yeah.
Palpatine returned.
And they say that.
They say it. That's the thing.
It's on paper. It's on paper.
It's in the script.
Yes.
Who is it?
Oscar Isaac. And you wonder, it's like, do I really have to say it just like that? Yep. Just like that. That's what they want.
You
somehow.
You said this is Poe's dialogue. I thought you were saying it was poor dialogue.
Oh, Poe. Poe dialogue.
And like another part of why I love this show and just Star Wars universe is because I've always liked this topic of quote unquote good guys, bad guys, and gray areas.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Because I grew up with Gundam, the mainline Gundam, which is about this. Like from a child, from when I was too young to really should be understanding this, I knew about the dynamics of good guys, bad guys, not really being them, being gray. And what's his name?
Luthen.
Yeah, I keep saying Royale because I don't.
His last name's something like Raoul or something like that. Yeah,
like he is. Is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy? Right? He's for the rebels, which is like good guys. But Saul is supposed to be a good guy because you're fighting against a bad guy. But just because you're fighting a bad guy doesn't mean you're a good guy.
Correct.
Right? And the ends just sacrifice the means, right? But you can't look at them as bad guys either because of the conviction. You can see, like, the Emperor's obviously bad. He's doing bad shit knowing he's bad, right? But except for like Luthen, when he gave that speech of what did I sacrifice?
Yeah.
Oh, dude. And that's true. He has no life.
Yeah.
This is what he does. He does bad stuff, but he is dedicated to
100%.
Oh man, that's what I'm thinking about.
It's good. It's so good.
So good.
And you know what? I'll be honest. Playing the Battlefront game is just the story mode. Just so anybody that doesn't know, basically it starts with you're on Endor and the Death Star blows up, and you are a commander in the Empire of a special tactical unit, and just to see the Death Star blew up, but that wasn't really the end. I mean.
Yeah, stuff happens after that.
I mean, that's what you're doing is you become a rebel, and then and the other thing you want to keep in mind about all this is what was the name of it? It's the Rebel Alliance. Mm-hmm. That's because what does Saul list off? The partisans, the Neo, whatever. And I mean, there's probably some pretty wacky shit in there.
Whoever Krieger is.
And I'm so into seeing more sides of these pockets because we already know, right? There's Saul's crew who are like the extremists.
Yes.
Right?
The partisans, as they call them.
And then there's this group that whatever Andor is part of that's kind of
the Axis Alliance or what? Yeah,
then there's Rebels, like the animated show, like that group of characters that are having a huge impact. There's also the characters from Solo that are on the biker gang that are like part of the original people that started.
Infus Nest.
Yeah, Infus Nest. So it's like there's all the like to see. I would love like, and I'm probably getting my eyes are too big for my stomach type of deal, but I would love to see of like or maybe an animated series of how all of those factions ended up forming. And then
like things like
it makes more sense when they have the council kind of meeting.
Yeah,
like when all the people are sitting around.
And always, they're not the same people. I always wondered like why don't they all have uniforms on? Because they're just a bunch of motherfuckers trying to fight together, you know. And then, like, of course, you talked about Crimson Dawn. Does Crimson Dawn stay loyal to the Empire? And I'm sure there's stories written about that.
Yeah, because they're like criminals, but they'll play to whoever.
Is Saw Gerrera not a criminal at this point?
Yeah, but I mean criminals like selling spice and like street level criminals, like not like with a cause, or with a cause being money.
And there's some kind of like Mormon-y cults going on too that I didn't know about.
Yeah,
with arranged marriages.
Yeah.
Well,
the Chandrillans with their the braid is tight. And long live the braid. Watching it back, I'm not sure this holds up, but one of my theories was that the aunt who is, I can't think of her name. The cousin. That she had kind of sold the girl on the idea of doing this, so because she knew that would forward everything. You were talking about like the gray area and stuff like that. There's a series of books. They're not canon anymore. But it's called
Christ's sake.
It's called Coruscant, and that's what it is. You're a Jedi after the fall of the Republic, living in the bottom of Coruscant.
1313,
and the overall arc of this, and it's a series of unfortunate/fortunate events, right? Because all this culminates into Rogue One and into Death Star blowing up, basically.
Right.
Everything. It all starts with two shithead guards couldn't keep their fucking shit together. and fucked on Andor. Right? Yeah. That's how it starts.
Yep.
And then it was just like being in the right place at the right time or wrong place at the wrong time, depending on how you look at it. Just getting picked up, going to the store, and getting thrown in prison.
I didn't do anything. Yeah.
That like if you look at all those little things, they were all just random events that led to this huge fucking thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I look
That's
at
life, though, isn't it?
I look at it this way:
because Andor Carter would have gotten killed somewhere if he wasn't in prison. He probably would have gotten picked up somewhere.
Right.
Yeah,
he would have gotten picked out somewhere. But it took, and I think it's a good example of it. Shows sometimes. Look, Luthen was like basically trying to sell him on the rebellion. He's like, I don't have time for any of this shit. And it took him literally going to die, being sentenced to death in this prison and escaping. And then he wasn't completely.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I still think he's all about self-preservation.
I think by the time he comes back to.
I think it's hearing his mother speak.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that pushed him over the edge. I think it changed Luthen's view on things too. It seems like it affected him in some way.
I agree.
It made him less cold and calculated.
He goes. Yeah, and in Rogue One, he's not the same guy.
No.
No,
I need to watch Rogue One again now.
Well, so I'm going to watch it after. I've got to watch the finale one more time, and then I'm going to put Rogue One on. Were you okay with the way it ended? Because I know you're a big ending dude, but either kill me or take me in.
He'd take him in.
Well, no, I know that's the thing. That's what I said. It was like there could be a cliffhanger at some point, but it's not going to be anything.
That's the end of an arc. There's no cliffhangers for me.
Let me ask you a question. There were 12 episodes of this.
Yeah.
If you had watched it episodically, I would
have given it up. I would have hated it.
Okay,
well, at some point. I don't know which point.
Well, that's what I was going to ask, because I know you're like, I don't want to cliff, because a lot of it, like when they figured out when he's walking with Kino and how many guards per floor, and he says no more than 12 and it stops.
Oh, dude, that whole fucking chunk of the story arc is fucking great.
You know what I told Kelly?
Any circus is fucking amazing.
He's amazing in everything he does.
That guy should get the Lifetime Achievement Award.
He's my new Gary Oldman.
He might be. Star Wars, but everybody is Kino. I told Kelly that, and I don't know why, but that whole prison sequence to me kind of had like Squid Game vibes a little bit. It's almost like it was like a Korean game show kind of thing. Did you pick up with that at all? I mean, maybe in the fact that and I know it's all a nod to THX movie or whatever, but I don't know. It just kind of had that vibe to me. Somewhat. Not
as much, but it just, But I like the idea of that's how you control people.
Yeah.
Like you make them fight against each other. Right? And not only fight against each other, but like make themselves motivated to do what you want, despite the fact that you're the enemy.
Lack of information.
Yep.
It's like so pivotal.
Yeah.
You know,
keeping people in the dirt.
So you can't have more than one person in your bunk.
Make them police themselves.
You have no privacy. Do these guys jack off or what? I mean,
I was thinking that too. I'm glad I'm not the only one.
Maybe they use one of those. Maybe there's one more port up there on the wall.
I mean, people jack off in prison.
I know.
You know,
but they don't even have a blanket.
That is true.
I noticed that too. I'm like, not even a blanket?
That's the difference with this place than other fucking awful camps we have in real life. Because I think they really actually need them to produce.
They do.
They have unlimited food.
Yeah.
And
Right.
they have rest. They're not fucked up. They're not like, because they're not
working 18 hours.
Right.
They're working 12, and they're on 12 off 12.
Yeah, so they get as much sleep as they want and they get as much food as they want, so they can produce as much as they want. So like that's also part of it too. Usually in prison of war, like prison camps,
right,
like, you keep them at least a little bit underfed, a little bit underslept, so they can't never really fight back.
Right,
these guys are like primed.
Right. That's a good point. Point.
It makes you wonder two things. The old guy that dies, why did they ever pick him to be there, or has he been there so long? You know, because they were picking spry, healthy people for the most part to come work. You know, you'd think they would have sent that old guy, and I know it's a storytelling device, but they sent him to do something else.
He was okay to begin with. I think he's just been there for so long that he's too old. He can't hold up. Yeah. And he had a stroke.
They have strokes in Star Wars. First time we've known that, I guess.
Yeah.
And euthanasias.
Yeah.
That two tubes. Different kind of two tubes and syringes. Definitely like the lethal injection.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah,
man.
I am
too.
Actually, I'm glad I liked it. To be fair,
I love that I liked it.
That like the lightsaber spin reminds me of the Iron Man.
Yeah,
when he took out the two ships with his ship with the beam.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
I was like, yeah, bro.
But I want to know more about that guy, because why does he know how to do that? Why does he have that ship? You know,
I mean, he has a lot of money and power. He got there somehow.
Exactly.
Somehow. That's all you need. Somehow.
Okay, that's
Luther
right.
had come into vast wealth and technological.
It's a Luther.
Yeah,
it's Lex Luthor. Actually, he's time traveler, and he went way far back.
But yeah, there's so much more I can say about that show. But I just fucking loved it.
Your Generation Tech guy.
Yes,
I've been watching him a lot. He's done a ton of videos on this.
Yeah, first got into this. I remember I was like,
but he's been on fire with this stuff. He posts something almost every day about Andor, and also he has this weird thing with like dolphins are trying to kill him.
Yes, I know it. There's a weird coincidence there.
Yeah.
I was going to interject just real quick. I saw you said Lex Luthor. I saw this like thing that went viral. I guess it was some tweet that somebody made, and then it like got picked up by every fucking blog site and blah blah blah. But it said these are equal caliber performances, and it had Heath Ledger's Joker, and it had Jesse Eisenberg.
Yep,
Berg as Luther. And of course I checked out the comments because I knew which way this was going to go, right? And it was all 100% predictable, you know, like, are you fucking insane and blah blah blah. But it did make me, I didn't comment because I don't have time to get involved in any lengthy back and forth with some fucking imbecile that I've never met. But I don't think that the performances are equal. I think that Ledger's performance is like a one-of-a-generation performance. However, I think what is key about Jesse's performance is he is not playing Lex Luthor. He's playing Alexander Luthor.
Which is Lex Luthor's son.
And it is a much more accurate depiction of him.
See, I don't know anything about...
Than it is
of
people
in general, I think, don't know. That's why.
And I don't think they did a great job of really
they
driving that home.
My father, and
people know Lex.
They should have called him Alex.
Living in America.
Yeah.
But yeah, they should have made a
point
to call
that
him
it's just
Alex.
his son.
Yeah, just something I thought about.
And not only does he have the drive of his father, but he also has the mental challenges of his father. You know, being Lex Luthor, and being that way to him,
and more so. Like,
a lot deeper of a character than people give.
He's more of an unstable character. And then there was people in there that said still would have been a great Riddler. And I do think about that because Adam and I had that theory that maybe he really was the Riddler, like in disguise the whole time, which I think would have worked. But eating all those green fucking Jolly Ranchers. He wouldn't eat any good Jolly Rancher, but the green ones. You know, little shit like that.
Shoved the cherry one in that dude's mouth. Yep. That was one of the best scenes in cinema history. He just pushes it in with his finger. And he clears his lips.
A couple more things.
Mm-hmm.
The ISB people. Do you think they... In lore, do you think they realize they're bad guys? Especially when, but especially when they're on the ground, like that lady. When you become on the ground and you see the people are being oppressed,
I think Dedra will be very different in season 2.
But
I think she'll have another angle, and you never know. She might.
The man, that guy is creepy. That incel guy is fucking. Oh God, I hate him.
So, what about his mother?
So like that guy.
I hate to tie everything.
He's part of what snowballs this whole thing too. He couldn't let Andor go, and that's what led to everything.
Yep.
I hate to tie this back to the fifth column, but I happened to listen to a podcast of theirs recently that they had some interesting information that I couldn't help but think about the Empire in the same regard, and the people that would have just enlisted in the Empire and tried to rise through the ranks and be an officer and blah blah blah. But they said like the Nazis, right? The Nazis, the ultimate bad guys of that Germany had at the time of Nazi control. Do you know what their Jewish population was? 1%.
No.
And now that 1% did have a big stake in a lot of their financials. That they own like most of the department stores. They own, there was like all this information that surrounds it. But because I've often thought about this, right? Like what makes a normal person, with a generally astute moral compass, go to these lengths where all of a sudden now it's okay to put these people in death camps, right?
Yeah.
And he said like this guy that was on there as a guest, like, they were the half of the draw, obviously they demonized the Jewish population and everything, but half of the reason why it was successful was because the German population didn't really have much knowledge or interaction with Jewish people. So like there was only 1% of the fucking population that was Jewish. So it was almost like this aloof thing, So they're kind of easier to demonize them because they don't really know them at all.
So they can easily just listen to whatever you tell them.
Exactly.
About them.
Exactly. So like I think when I think about that with the Empire, right? Like if I grow up on, let's say that we're in the Star Wars universe, right?
Okay.
And I grew up on Earth, and Earth is run by the Empire, and I'm doing okay. I know there's people on my planet that aren't doing okay, but I'm doing okay. But the Empire not brainwashes me, but constantly inundates me with information and propaganda, really, of how Wookiees are responsible for my shortcomings. And I've never met a fucking Wookiee. I've never seen a fucking Wookiee. I know they live on some planet called Kashyyyk, but I'm never fucking going there. I think it's easier, with these regular everyday people to demonize these other groups when this galaxy is so expansive that the likelihood of having interaction with a lot of these different cultures, groups, whatever, is probably easier to turn them against them or not see them as human.
Right, but the people not in charge, but people in the system, like the ISB, like, you gotta know people are getting bullied, right? You watching people get bullied.
Yeah, but they're not doing the right thing. That's why that's in my mind. That's how they
justify it.
I mean, like. At the same time, I think God forbid you're ever in that role. I think you just get so desensitized to it.
True.
Like, I want to hang him, whatever.
It's programming.
And she's like, whatever you want to do.
They're perfectly fine with torture. Like, there's nothing wrong. I guess they don't see them as people anymore.
Look at like all these like young girls that go get BBLs at the age of like 6, 17, 18. You know what I mean? Like, it's programming.
Something that really kind of haunts me is whatever it is that they're listening to in that torture thing. And I'm going to tell you guys this story. I've never told anybody this because it haunts me.
All right, just us two, Joe, and everybody listening. Yeah, everybody keep it under your hats.
So I know Bobby's familiar with Soft White Underbelly. It's a YouTube channel. He went and the way I found him is he went and visited with these backwoods people in West Virginia. What's up, Jeremy B? The Whitakers, I believe, that are very inbred. He had some other things. I'd listened to some of the other interviews, and I was listening to this one. And this guy talks about how this is a hard conversation, or just a hard thing to say out loud. His father and his father's friend had relations with him as a child. And when he acted out, his father would make him listen to the audio of him and his friend having their way with him.
Wow.
That has fucked with me.
Whew.
Yeah.
And I just think about...
You thought your mom was bad.
Yeah. She never tried to fuck me.
I mean, that being bad,
you listen back to
that being bad enough, the fact that it was recorded and that it and I'm just thinking, hearing, seeing how people are after this audio, I'm like, what is this?
Like I'm saying, so that guy, like we always say, people say people are never bad guys in their own stories, but like you got it at that point, that guys, dad, you can't not think you're a bad person. You're just doing bad things knowing it's bad.
Yeah.
I think that exists.
I mean, that to me is the purest form of evil. Like
hurting a kid,
hurting a child, and then using that hurt to punish them further. I just
psychologically.
I think, like, I'll be honest with you. Like, I think the purity of evil, it really starts with your ability to fucking hurt a child.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like,
or an animal too. Like just something that's helpless. Yeah. Old people hurting a child, hurting like old ass people who like, you know,
animals. I'm a bit different on, because I do think there's something there about this separation of value of life, where like
some people can see it.
This thing is not me, therefore not like me, therefore its value is less. But like a child, like, I don't know, man, like I think that, you know, you've seen people like all through time, like at any given like terrible moment, people will go out of their way to protect children they don't know. It's like there's something hardwired in us of like species preservation.
Sure.
It's exactly what it is.
And if you're able to disregard that and not only be indifferent, but even worse, be harmful, that to me is like there's something
broken in
there's
you.
something broken in you. You have crossed over onto some other level of evil.
Yeah.
But shout out, Mom.
Sorry for the sidebar there, but I mean that talking about the guy. So the guy who's running the torture device, he's just so very like nonchalant and like happy about his work. You know, I think he gets up in the morning and be like, "Man, it's going to be a great day in the Empire today."
So that's
because he's been manipulated to think what the information they have. The Empire. That's the Empire's information.
It's either he's a sadist or he really believes in the cause. It's one or the other.
Probably
you can't
a little
tell,
bit of both,
right?
Or a little bit of both. And he's using, because sometimes people can use causes to fuel their own, you know, whatever their needs are.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Also, the Empire is, and the discussion too. The Empire was also set up to fail because the way the system is built, how cutthroat it is, right? Like, it's just like in Chronicles of Riddick, that system would never work. Whoever, if you kill somebody higher ranked than you become that rank. That will never fucking work because everyone just kill everybody.
Right.
You'll never get.
As we see in multiple facets of the Empire, it's always cutthroat. Like between mobs, between whatever sector, however low you are, everyone wants to climb, and it is to shit on somebody else, regardless of undermining them and their system, right? So like, when you fuck that guy's system up, that's bad for the Empire.
You're immediately creating, like, you've gone from competition to conflict.
Yes.
You know, and as soon as you do that, when you have your own people fighting against each other, it's a house of cards.
Yeah. And also, like, if he loses control of his sector, it's bad overall for the entire Empire because you just lost control of a sector.
Yep.
Yeah, so that system was never going to fucking last. But Sith saw it that way too. So it makes sense that Emperor is okay with this because, the rule of two, and then eventually one kills the other, and then you get more.
Right.
Yeah. It's like it's destined to happen.
And the last thing I wanted to say was like Reaper from Overwatch is in Tales of Jedi, and I don't know why.
Huh?
The Sith or Inquisitor that fucking Ahsoka fight, that's like exactly
from
Overwatch. Yeah. I was like, that's cool to see him in action.
Also, speaking of that, and speaking of my issues with both Dooku and Reva, like
Reva McEntire.
Reva McEntire. Here's another. Right.
That's Overwatch guy.
Yeah.
It's the same exact mask.
So here, yet another dark side user. Instantly fucking cool looking.
Yes.
Instantly fucking so when people had that conversation with me, I'm like, man, don't tell me that when like every other fucking dark side user in the history of fucking Star Wars looks instantly fucking cool.
Yeah.
You know, there is something to that.
Except for Reva McEntire.
And Dooku.
And Dooku was cool in his own way, man. I think he's cool.
I like Dooku.
I'll tell you, I like Dooku also.
He's slick.
He doesn't look cool.
I think he looks cool.
He doesn't. He's not supposed to look cool. Not in the way of a... hang on.
But every other Sith
which
does.
Dooku?
It's Lord.
Okay, the one in the movies.
Tyrannus.
Yeah,
the one in the movies.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, he's also 90 years old in those movies.
Yeah, I mean, I can come up with excuses for it. I know. It's just the character design in and of itself.
I think it was showing us how.
Like, here's the point: nobody ever designed that character.
What do you mean?
Like, that character was never designed. Like, they said, make a Sith apprentice. And they came up with like 30 different character designs. And
I think they were all on my phone just a minute ago.
Maybe. And
crotch pieces and all.
And George Lucas walked up and pointed to Asajj and said, that's it. It's going to be her or something completely different by Christopher, whatever his name is, like Christopher Lee.
Yeah.
And like then, it was totally based on him playing Dracula.
Okay.
Which is perfect.
Yeah, but that is also the thing. Like Dooku's acceptable. And I think Dooku's a cool character and all that. I just don't think he looks cool. I think every other Sith looks cool.
I get that,
but it serves a purpose.
It does.
He's the face. He's the face man,
which is fine. You can come up with 1,000 different.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look cool. Period. End of statement.
Period.
Because he looks like the Reaper guy. It's not going to go very far in the Senate or whatever. People are like, no. And the other, you look sus.
Right.
I don't know.
Well,
you see this guy looks like Satan with face tattoos? I don't know about this guy. I mean, the motherfucker's literally got horns coming out of his head.
So
the insidious monster.
Yeah. I mean, that the ones we've seen in cinema, you've got, 2 fallen Jedi. And then, like Darth Maul came from somewhere and, whatever. I'm just saying that he was a recently fallen Jedi that became, I don't know. You're not wrong.
And
I'm not arguing with you.
Palpatine doesn't look cool until he becomes Sidious either.
Yeah, but that's really when he becomes his true self.
No, right. But like when he was Palpatine, the whole time he's just some douchebag.
Yeah, but see, my theory, because some people think that like this God in deformed, it was like the electricity that warped his face, but my theory is that
took his disguise off.
He took his disguise
off. I
off.
thought that too.
Yeah.
Like he looked like that. He somehow Sidious looks like Palpatine, and Mace reflecting that took that disguise off.
Yeah, and he was just like, "Now's the time."
Yep, I can just be me.
Dude, live your truth too. You know what I mean?
There we go.
Anything else,
dude?
Joseph?
When he was fucking laughing when fucking Dooku was fighting Lady Yoda,
Yaddle.
Yeah, Yaddle. I was like, bro, Dooku, come on, man, you know this is a bad guy.
Should Yaddle have spoken Yoda language?
What is that? Yoda?
Like good corner protector. That is.
Oh no, because this shows that Yoda's just a weirdo. Like Grogu's not going to talk like that.
Grogu's going to talk like Groot.
I like your answer. Because I do like the idea of him being a weirdo.
Yeah, he's a kooky old man.
But I also wouldn't have been mad had they all taught like that.
It would make Yoda less special, I think.
Maybe. You might be right. I'm willing to concede to your point.
Okay, I'm done talking about this. I could talk about AI art and Star Wars for hours.
We can just combine them and live in our own world.
Yeah. Anything else?
That's it. That's enough, I think. Shit.
Yeah. We're doing all right only having 3 days of... So let me see what my nerd week is like.
Wow.
So we decorated the house.
Yes.
Immediately.
Yeah,
the day after Thanksgiving.
Black Friday, yeah.
Was that we? Because it seemed a lot of it got done while we were down here.
So that is true. I was able to get out of a fair bit of it, but I had to partake in the back half of the day.
Gotcha.
So this great moment happened. They're undoing... So each of them... And I recommend anybody listening that has young kids to do the same. So they have each a box of ornaments, and they get a new ornament each year and add to their box, so to speak. And when they leave the house, when they leave the nest, they'll take their box with them, and they'll have a nice little starter pack to start their own tree and their own life and blah, 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 right? Mm-hmm. And some of it directly tied to their childhood and nostalgia and all that kind of stuff. So Leia, the baby, is going through her box, and there's an angel ornament. And she pulls out the angel ornament and says, "Look, Jaina, I got the God of Jesus."
Perfect.
The God of Jesus.
And Jaina says, "That's not the God of Jesus. It's an angel." And then the baby said, "You don't get to choose what I think."
Perfect.
Oh, wow.
Yo, dude, that's so deep and she doesn't even realize it.
That's great.
This loves Jesus is mine is sweet baby Jesus. Sweet 8 pounds, 3 ounce
baby Jesus.
Baby Jesus.
I like Sweet Baby Ray's.
So we had that.
Put some of that on Sweet Baby Jesus.
Let's see what else.
Lather them up.
Wasn't much. We watched some. So we watched some Christmas movies already. We watched
That's early.
Yes. So we watched Christmas Story. We talked about this last week? The Christmas Story sequel.
Yes, because I didn't know it existed.
The new one?
The new one.
Like it's set in the 80s, I guess?
Yeah, with Ralphie as an adult.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet. I didn't really know it was out yet.
I enjoyed it.
Really?
I enjoyed it. Like, it's not the first one. Doesn't try to be. But where it lands emotionally, it largely has to do with Ralphie coming back home due to the death of his father. And it's the right choice. Like,
it's like the right time to tell the story.
It sets everything in the right emotional space. And like, it's not awful.
Do they overdo the fact that it's in the 80s? I mean, or is there...
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think
that
so.
was my fear, is it would just be... Because, look, that's the popular thing with Stranger Things and things like that.
Yeah.
Just to do a super retro.
Yeah, no. You don't see like a kid saying like, "Hey, Dad, do you want to try this Millennium Falcon? They still got they sure got wonky ships these days."
Yeah,
and they
so it basically is like the show Goldberg. Hey, you want to try some Crystal Pepsi, Dad?
Yeah,
Or whatever. That was in the 90s.
Yeah.
But you know.
it's not a great movie, like, but it's tastefully done.
It's a good Christmas movie,
and it's a nice little Christmas movie to watch,
Yeah.
like about that world and those characters, and it's pretty well done.
Like,
it's not perfect, but it's nice. It's a nice little movie with these.
and I think that's what a Christmas movie has to be, right?
Yeah.
Because like I'm not a big Christmas fan myself, or
Right.
Christmas movies, but I do watch them and do enjoy it.
Then you would definitely like the Guardian special, because it is very not Christmas.
I'm looking forward to was it Bloody Nights, whatever?
Yes,
Season's Beatings.
Yes, something like that.
it was FTW Wrestling presents Season's Beating.
But I don't think I don't know. I don't think Christmas movies have to be good movies. They just have to be good Christmas movies.
Speaking of which,
I think it's a different.
did you know the Hallmark Company produced 40 new Christmas movies this year?
Jesus
Really?
Christ.
They take-
Literally, exactly.
They say they cost less than $1 million to make, and they make them in about 3 weeks.
Wow.
They're all in the same studio.
film-
They just take turns back
and
to back.
they film. And most of them involve a woman going back to her small town and falling in love with some sort of man doing manual labor.
It's probably some of the same actors. They probably do it in the same way the Endor prison shift works. One person goes to the set, they go to sleep, and the other people
It's the
come
way,
in.
it's the way they record telenovelas. Like, we don't have a script. You have an earpiece. We'll even give you the emotion. Go. Can you cry on command?
So Selena at the end of the movie didn't say, "This is the same movie."
No, because it's not
Good.
You know, and it's good for it. We watched How the Grinch Stole Christmas with Jim Carrey.
Great.
It still holds up. It's still fantastic.
Yeah, it's pretty timeless.
Yeah.
I think that's the key. I think the key to creating a Christmas film is making it timeless.
Yeah, it works really well, and that shit's still fucking funny. We watched. I had this Disney 3-pack Christmas special, and it is on DVD, I might add. And so it has 3 shorts on it, and I've never really paid attention to the other 2 because I only watch it for one, which I'll get to. So the first short is about this kid and a donkey.
Oh, I'm down. Does it happen in Tijuana?
Are they ripping cigs and chugging tequila?
Is it Clerks 2? Is that what it is?
All good guesses, gentlemen. But so this kid is like in somewhere in the Middle East. You don't really know where. And he's taking his donkey around and trying to sell his donkey.
Okay.
Because he's starving. And his donkey, you can tell that he has a relationship with his donkey, so to speak, that is one of like a dog, like a pet, like a beloved pet. So he keeps trying to take it to places, and everybody that's taking the donkey is like going to fuck the donkey up. Like one person's like, yeah, sure, please, just chain him up over there. And like he like looks over there, and it's like nothing but like leather pelts like all over. He's like, oh no, I'm not gonna sell it here. You know, another person's like, man, fuck your donkey. Nobody wants your donkey. Like it's a little skinny ass donkey. Nobody, who the fuck, you know. So like they finally just run away, the donkey and this boy, and like they're like depressed because they're basically going to die of starvation because they don't have any money, and not only does he got to feed himself, he got to feed his fucking donkey, right?
Right.
And this dude comes up to him to buy the donkey, and the guy's like, "Well, what do you want the donkey for?" And it's like, and basically he says like, he's like, my wife is at the end of her pregnancy and can't make it and needs, and it's like fucking Joseph needing to buy the donkey to take Mary to the fucking like, and it's just like. It's an older cartoon. I don't think they would ever do it now, but it's like really well done.
Oh, it's a great prequel.
I knocked up my wife, and
It's like
we
the-
got to go to Jerusalem.
It's like the Rogue One of the Holy Bible.
Yeah. A great prequel. It's a little bit retcon, but you know, it's cool.
The Old Testament is the prequel trilogy, and the New Testament is the original trilogy.
Yeah,
so this is like the Rogue One.
Yeah,
of the
this
New
is
Testament.
but it's a legend story, so it doesn't count. but it's
Directly
still
at the
fun.
end of this, you can go into the New
Right.
Testament.
It leads right up to. That's great. I guess I've never seen that.
Yeah, it's quite what it's like really well done.
I wonder if that's on Disney Plus. I'm just.
I don't
curious.
know. Yeah, me too.
No,
What's
only on
it- what's it
DVD. That's
called,
why
do you know?
he's pushing DVDs, bro. That's his
you know
agenda.
me.
You know what it's called?
A small one, maybe.
That's what she said.
I hope not. But that's that's the name of the donkey. The donkey's name is Small One. So anyway, the second one on there is about like Mickey and
the small one. Though.
Okay, is it on
1978? No, I googled it.
Oh, gotcha. So they
it's on Disney Plus.
Nice. They go to Mickey and Pluto go into the forest to chop down a Christmas tree, and when they come back to the house, they have Chip and Dale in the Christmas tree, and all sorts of shenanigans ensue, Joseph, and it's quite good fun. And then the third one that's on there is Christmas Carol. Yes. And like Scrooge plays Ebenezer Scrooge, and Mickey is Bob Cratchit, and all. But it's really well done, and like some of the humor in it.
That one I've seen.
Yeah, some of the humor in it is like a little adult, or like there's layers to a lot of the onions and stuff. And anyway, I quite enjoyed it. And then we watched Home Alone. I fell asleep.
You didn't get the opening scene.
No,
hang on.
No,
is Home Alone a Christmas movie?
So I don't think so.
Okay,
it definitely is.
But my
I'm using Die Hard as a measuring stick.
Yeah, well, I think it's more a Christmas Story than Die Hard, but I don't consider it a Christmas story.
If it ends with if a movie ends in Merry Christmas, it's a fucking Christmas movie.
So anyway, we'll have our day. We'll have our day to talk about this quite soon.
Sure.
But what was interesting was coming back from the wedding, I was very sleep deprived. I didn't sleep in the car because I wanted to be there for my wife, Allison, who was sleep deprived.
Yeah.
So we got home and we watched the Christmas Carol stuff, and then we watched Home Alone. We put the DVD in the DVD player before they got a chance to press play. I fell asleep on Home Alone, slept through the whole movie. Later on, we watched that night. We watched Elf. I fell asleep the last.
That's not something I want to watch on repeat.
Here's my hot take on it. I don't like it. I don't like Elf. I know it's a beloved Christmas movie, and my Selena particularly
I think it's a
infatuated with
generational
it.
thing, to be honest.
But it never really resonated with me, and I don't quite. There's some funny parts. I mean, of course, that like you're an angry little elf. Like that's like the best part. But like, it just doesn't really quite do it for me. But
I like it for one viewing too, or like once in a blue moon viewing.
Mm-hmm. I think you just see James Caan as a gangster, not as
maybe
publishing magnate or whatever he is.
Maybe.
Bob Newhart's great in that movie, though.
Yeah. Anyway, fell asleep during that.
Small part. He's got a small part. Yeah, get a honk for that one. Okay.
And then we watched White Lotus, the episode with the guy from Essex. I'm caught up.
Spot on.
Yeah, I'm caught up now.
So this episode dropped last night, though, right?
Yeah, so I'm caught up to your
right.
I didn't watch. Yeah, it is good. It just doesn't have my attention.
It's not as snappy as the first one.
Yeah,
but there's a lot.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah, it's all getting entangled.
Yeah.
Entanglements
and shit.
I am really interested to see how the one arc plays out with the two couples.
Bro, that was so tense. Like the whole, I can't think the dark haired girl, Aubrey Plaza is her name. I know her from.
She's beautiful.
She was in Parks and Rec. She had a big part in that.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah. She was a little quirkier in that, but she's still kind of a quirky character. But like her finding that rapper
condom.
Oh, dude. And like Kelly was watching with me. She's like, she's going to do some fucked up shit.
Yeah.
She leaves it like laying in the bathroom.
Yeah. I'm really interested to see how that plays out. And then I think that is it. One other thing. I think another reason why I really appreciate Christmas in my older age is because the days leading up to Christmas for me suck. Not only because of all the video content and stuff that has to get done, but also because of the amount of shit that I, as an adult, have to recertify at the end of the year.
Oh, okay.
And it's such a pain in the dick. I had to recertify my medical examiner certificate for my CDL and like, of course, it's a fucking website. You can't fucking just email it to somebody or whatever. You got to go in, you got to fucking log in, you got to click this, click that. Dude, it took me probably a half hour to do this fucking thing. And then at the end, I pressed submit. The fucking little circle went for like another half hour before it said JPEG's not accepted. Oh, I was like, well, why the fuck didn't you tell me that in the first place? I'd have fucking saved us both.
You tell me what you want.
Yeah. So that kind of stuff. And then like the other certificates that I hold had to be recertified, like some of them through the state.
Is all this shit a yearly recert?
So not all of it is. fair amount of it is
It just all happens to fall in December.
Just this year, it all falls on December. So just a pain in the ass. But then once that's over, then I can kind of really relax. And I save a lot of like my leave at work for the end of the year because I like to be off my birthday, her birthday, the holidays, like the whole bit. So, then it all kind of pays out. I think it's another reason why I've grown to like it.
Yeah, I think for me it's different. I used to be more indifferent, or like can celebrate a little bit, or just have a good holiday spirit. But my work is different. My work leading up to Christmas sucks, or leading up to the holiday season sucks, but it also sucks immediately after. So like I don't get a reprieve. So like you get a day off, but the next day you just get double work. Like every holiday is bad for retail.
Well, the industry you're in, especially, it's like
so like everyone wants everything all at once, like that movie. before any holiday. You get the day off and you get back to a huge pile of shit because you were day off and the work never went away.
That's the worst part about work. If you work at a place where you come back after a week or 2 week off and like whoever covered for you didn't do a great job.
You just have to do all 2 weeks worth of work.
Literally got 2 weeks worth of work to dig through.
So I'd rather just not take off. I'd rather just work through.
So here's another thing that happened that I forgot about that's worth talking about. So as I'm getting ready to go to this wedding on Saturday, I got this blanket pre-order up for sale right now. The Soundwave and the tapes for those that are interested. And I had an expectation that I would sell a certain amount just based off previous. So I happened to stumble across a great deal with my vendor, and I took advantage of it prior to even the pre-order going up. And the first batch came, and it came right like 5 minutes before we're getting ready to walk out the door to go to this wedding. We're in a great mood. The kids are gone. The dogs are gone. Responsibility is gone with them, Joe. And I'm like, oh, shit, I'm going to take a picture of this, post it on my socials. I crack one out. I throw it out on the floor, and I'm like, looks fucking great. I run. I get my camera. I come back. I frame it up in the camera. I take a picture of it. Looks fucking great. Sit there. I get ready to post it. I'm like, wait a minute. Laserbeak's head has been chopped off.
Oh, no.
And I was like, fuck. So my brain didn't trust the picture and said, I'm going to go over and look at it in person and make sure that I'm seeing what I think I'm seeing.
Yeah.
And I went over and sure as shit, as Ricky Ticky Timber said, all laser, no beak.
Fuck.
Yeah. So
was it the vendor's mistake?
So yes, it was, because the preview of it, you could preview how it didn't show it that way. So Laura dealt with them for like 2 hours in customer service yesterday, and we got it sorted. It's going to cost us a little bit more money, but it's better than the loss.
Do they want the old ones back?
No, it's better than the loss we would have taken.
I know what we're getting for Christmas.
Yes.
But that being said, like, it's just like, fuck. Like the one time I was like right ahead of something, so to speak. And then I'm back 2 steps, but it all's well that ends well. But it's just another fucking pain in the ass. Yeah, and the woven should be fine because it's different dimensions, and we double checked all that, and that should be fine. And let's see, let's move on to some notes. So we'll start here with Maryland. We fly high, no lie.
Into power poles.
This power poles.
I saw that on.
Have you seen this, Joe?
No idea.
So I saw it. I'll tell you, it's funny. I still follow a bunch of pages from home. I was scrolling through Facebook last night, and the Huntsville, Alabama Utilities Department had posted the story from from Maryland. I guess it was Montgomery County Fire and Rescue had posted
a private plane crashed into an electrical tower.
Yeah, basically. Like 100 feet up.
Yeah, and they were able to be rescued. The pilot and passenger.
This was in Gaithersburg last night.
Oh, whoa!
But the whole fucking area is now without power.
Oh, really? I didn't realize that part.
Oh, yeah. Shit.
So
that's a busy area.
Yeah, too. Yeah. So I have for one, I'm glad that everybody was able to get out of there safe, that nobody died. But for two, there's a lot more people these days getting. I feel like private planes are like the 2022 boat from the year 2000. Like in the year 2000, I may have known 1 or 2 people with a boat. And now I feel like I know 1 or 2 people with a plane.
Planes aren't expensive, is the thing. They never were. It's the hangar space and the fuel. Like the planes are cheaper than cars.
Well, I'm knowing more people with planes now.
Yeah.
And than I ever have in my life. And that's got to come with more crashes and more, lack of experienced pilots and so on and so forth. So I'm expecting to see a lot. Like we've had,
Harrison Ford crashed.
Well, yeah, there was a plane crash not too long ago in Maryland that hit a house a couple years ago. It was while we were doing this podcast. But anyway, I mean, I'm sure that this pilot is going to face charges.
Yeah, depending on what happened. Yeah,
I mean, eesh.
Unless it was some kind of mechanical failure or something. If it's just like piloting error.
Yeah, I don't know. But I mean, I'm glad everybody's safe.
Yeah.
Reno 911 has a Christmas movie coming.
Nice, a movie.
Yeah.
Shit.
It's exclusive on Comedy Central. I saw the trailer for it.
I won't be watching it.
Dude,
I'll pirate it.
It looks like good fun. It looks
I'll be honest with you, man. I think that shtick's worn the fuck out.
Reno 911.
Yeah, I enjoyed it
when
15 years ago. Yeah. Thomas Lennon and the cast of characters there.
It's like
a lot of them were on it. There was a sketch comedy show. It was on MTV years ago. A lot of them.
The State.
Yes, I remember they had a song about pudding.
I have it on DVD.
In the year 2000. Yeah. That was good shit. It was very fucking weird.
Yeah.
But it's actually kind of like
there was that one.
It would fit in on SNL great today.
That guy with the enormous penis. Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
This dude had a dick that was like ridiculous. You might say
ridiculous.
And people came together and did like a "We Are the World" song for him, and it was like enormous penis.
Some cutting. I mean, it was cutting edge shit back in the 90s when it came out.
It was funny.
Yeah.
There was this one about monkey torture. Have you ever seen this?
I don't think so.
Oh, dude, it might be worth showing real quick. Let me see the state monkey torture if it's here.
We got somebody else that Googled that weird thing that's on that list.
Bobby's on some list for all the shit he Googles, for sure.
I don't see it. But it was like this guy.
You have a memory like a steel trap.
Yeah.
Only when it comes to shit like this.
It's hit or miss. But this guy, he was like it's German. He played it. It was the same like the main cop from Reno 911. He played like a German
Thomas Lennon. He's actually
lab guy, but he specialized in monkey torture. And like
he's
talks
in
about
Batman, the third Batman movie.
Is he really?
He's a doctor.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yep. He talks about all the. I thought you were talking about Batman Forever. He talks about all the because it seems to make more sense. He talked about all the things that he does to the monkeys to like torture them and so on. He's like, sometimes I drive down to the mailbox at the front and I say, I have to let you free, monkey. I have to let you. Then I U-turn, drive the monkey back to it goes right back in the cage. And
maybe our numbers will go up in Germany this week.
He's got a monkey sitting on the arm of his chair while he's talking. He's like, yes, and then like his cell phone rings, like, bling, or it might be like a phone sitting on the table.
Would be a phone on the table.
Yeah, on the table next to him. He's like, hold on 1 second. It's like, yes, such monkey torture. The SPCA. I cannot torture the monkeys anymore. All the monkeys need to be set free immediately. Oh my God. I need at least a week. It's a lot to do. Okay, fine. Yes, that's bad. They all have to get. I got you, monkey. There's another torture.
Ridiculous.
It was great. Anyway, the Reno 911 Christmas movie I think looks pretty fun. If it's available in some way that I can watch it without buying or subscribing to another platform, I will watch it. And then there was a trailer for Doom Patrol 4, Season 4.
I didn't watch it, but I don't keep up. I was surprised that was coming, to be honest.
So I got to tell you, I watched the first season, and it was quite good.
Yeah, I tried to watch it.
I just didn't go any further, but I am, much like Titans Joe, I am going to try it again.
What's going
to give it another go, because I do think it looks good, and it is cut from like my cloth, where it's like, it is grounded, even though it's wonky, like, because the guy's like a robot man, but like, it is like, man, what if type, like, it plays it pretty straight.
Yeah.
So anyway, I think it looks good. I'm excited. I'm going to check it out. I'm going to try to check it out, I should say. And then we just have a couple questions, just a handful. Two, I believe.
It's only been 3 days. How many questions could that be?
But just remind the people where they can send questions.
You can email us at nerdrageradiomail@gmail.com.
So the first one is from Nick, and he says, "Hey, Bobby. Oh, That's not that. I hit the wrong button.
Thanks, Nick.
Yeah, but thanks, Nick. Anyway, I will get back to you ASAP. One is from JM, Jeremy M. He says, on a previous episode of Nerd Rage, someone wrote in about what type of theme park you would like to see. I would enjoy seeing a whole land dedicated to Ghostbusters. Many exciting things could be done with Ecto 1 theme roller coaster, dark ride that launches from the firehouse. You could also set it up to give everyone a gun and run a competition on how many ghosts you could buzz. Bobby mentioned a horror theme park, which is coming to Universal in 2025.
Oh, great.
Their new park, Epic Universe, will have a Universal Monsters themed land with Frankenstein's castle as a centerpiece. That's awesome.
That sounds cool.
Thanks for keeping up with this and everything else you do all week. I will definitely be talking to you again. Listening to you is like listening to the late night drunken ramblings I have with my old friends. Rage on.
That's pretty much it.
And then that's no question there, just information. And then our last, Paul C got one just under the wire, came in at 9 a.m. this morning. Huge congratulations go out to JD and Chan on their recent marriage. I'm sorry I couldn't be there, but it certainly looks like a wonderful celebration of all things nerd. In that vein, what would you say is the absolute nerdiest thing you have ever done? For the purposes of this question, nerdiest doesn't need to be the holidays definition about pop culture, etc. This can be any time that you've geeked out on anything that you are passionate about. Did you dress up as Harry Potter, wizard, to get J.K. Rowling's signature? Did you travel across the country for a chance to recreate a road trip with your favorite movie? Do you cross oceans in order to spend time solely buying collectibles and eating Japanese food? Anything like that would work here. Hope you all had a great Thanksgiving. Hope you're having a wonderful holiday season that's filled with Mariah Carey. Paul C.
Wow. Well, Joe, I think he answered it for you, but
yeah. I mean, I've spent fucking probably 5 digits worth of money on nerd shit. That's fucking ridiculous.
Well, I think we all can say that in some capacity.
Not, yeah. Well, in this table, yes.
At this table.
Every year.
But
that's crazy. That's crazy, outrageous nerd shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're probably right. It's probably the last 5 years since I moved to Maryland for some reason.
You're right.
Keeping up with the Skull Fosse. No, I kid. In my brain, I'm like, I don't need to buy all this shit because I can just come over here. I'll see it every week.
Yeah, whatever he has, I don't need to
I'm
get.
so desensitized to the volume of your collection now. Like, when people come in here, they're like, oh my God. I'm like,
this is normal. This is normal, right?
Not even that much.
The fucking frog in the pot just getting hotter and hotter.
Exactly.
No, it's fine.
At least you're not tripping over hot glue guns, right?
Well, when I go into JD's house, I'm like, yeah, I'm not so bad.
Yeah. Oh gosh, the nerdiest thing. Bobby, I'm struggling with this.
So I'm going to say it's probably naming my kids what I named them, but particularly Leia. Leia's is like the most on the nose. Like the other ones are kind of like, you kind of got to be...
Could be normal names.
They could be normal names. You got to kind of be in the know.
Jana's middle name is pretty nerdy.
Yeah, but how often do you hear a middle name? And then you have to know that Harleen is Harleen Quinzel. You have to know that from the Harley Quinn character.
It's a deep cut for sure.
You know, and then Leia, Selena Kyle sounds like a name that you could just hear today. It's like you have to know that it's Catwoman's name.
Yeah. But
my middle one is Leia Diana. And like Diana you can still get away with, but Leia is like, that's it. Everybody knows Leia. It's the most like on the nose.
I think I can, it may not be the nerdiest, but it definitely started a whole lot of nerdy things. Was against my wife's wishes going to TFCon in Charlotte. She was
really
dead. So she thought it was the weirdest fucking thing in the world that I was going to drive by myself to go hang out with all these, it was like, well, you don't know these people. It was that, you know, you don't, because I didn't know any. I met you there.
Yeah.
I met the Realm, basically all of everybody I talk to now, and lots of other people there too, and it's just been downhill from there.
Yeah.
So I'll say that was a kind of a leap of faith for a lot of us to go, and meet up, not knowing each other, and based solely on our nerdiness. And here we are, 7 years later.
Yeah. I would say that another thing, like getting a hotel room next to the Safari Motor Inn so that I could visit the hotel that Clarence in Alabama from True Romance stayed in is pretty nerdy. We could have stayed at like a nice hotel, like but like we wanted to be able to like see, like we didn't want to stay at the Safari because it's trashy, but we wanted to be able to look at our window and see it, like and all this. So like,
tourists,
and it was kind of weird to like walk because we like spent a fair amount of time on like the premises, like looking around, taking pictures and everything. People were probably like, what the fuck is wrong with these people?
I cosplayed with those flippy signs for events for store credit.
Did you really?
Yeah, for Collector's Corner, I used to do a lot of the events. I would like.
Did you have any neat tricks like this? Like flip? No,
I would climb up either on top of the building sometimes, on top of people's cars sometimes, on top of like electrical box sometimes.
I wish there was
just like fucking getting traffic. There's pics on Facebook probably, like me like fucking interrupting traffic to like fucking
Nice.
He was on the news.
For store credit.
Yeah.
He was on the news.
I was Deadpooling before Deadpooling was a thing.
You know, like I've taken my kids at like really young ages to see opening movies, like and stuff. Like, I'm not even sure if I could do that now. Like, I'm not sure if they'd be interested. They'd be like,
No.
I got school tomorrow.
Right. I got to work.
Anyway, shout out to the rest of the Nerd Rage team. Ricky Tiki Temper on the videos, and Raul on Instagram, and Phil on Twitter and the notes. And I got probably time for a thought.
And Dante
on Facebook.
Who went live on Instagram yesterday on So You Like Horror.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. It was random. It was like, I'm like at work. I'm like, what's going on? And it was like in a car, somebody's car. I didn't see anybody. I just saw seats with sheets on them. I have no idea what's going on.
Dante has 72 Instagram accounts.
That's true. Did he cover anything interesting in his live, or it was just random?
Couldn't tell.
Every time I see somebody has a live, it's over. I very rarely ever catch anybody
I caught it
live.
like right in the middle of it, and just
And most of the time when it is, they tell me, it's like, why are you telling me this? I guess you have to go in and click off every single person. I don't want to see their live.
Yeah.
There's some people who do toy photography that show they'll basically do a live of taking the picture. But I always click on it and it's over. And I can't ever seem to find, like, is it in their, it's not in their story. I'm like, where did it go?
It doesn't go anywhere.
It just disappears.
Yeah.
The only reason is to follow thoughts and see when they go live.
I guess.
I found one. Didn't take too long.
Thought of the week.
Yeah, this is from at Candy Lion, I believe, CandyLion. She has a picture of her wearing a cheetah print coat, and other than that, it's just underwear.
I thought it was a siren.
It could have been a leopard. And Nerd Rage.
Hey, is there a caption to the photo? Just raw dog.
Just coughs.
Cough. Okay.
Because it's a response. Somebody said lingerie under a trench coat is still my favorite bucket list, and she coughed and shared this picture as a reply. And Phil responded to that and said, all the dogs will be coming out to chase this cat.
Oh, Phil.
And shout out to the rest of the cool table. As far as I'm concerned, if you listen to this podcast, you're part of the cool table as well. And with that,
happy labius.
Tasty.
Tight Dick Player.